takes the lead. This time we're going to finish the job.
The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Washington Capitals. For the second time in 20 days. 20 days ago, these teams met, and it was a very unfortunate result for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were up 2-0, and then they lost 4-2. So looking for a better result tonight. There's a lot of Washington Capitals that are either out of the lineup or have the flu tonight. So this is the perfect opportunity for the Maple Leafs to take advantage of that. We'll see if they do, but welcome everybody in to another watch along. These have been a lot of fun to do, so I'm excited to get these rocking again tonight in a big game for the Leafs, who are looking to play better, even though they won last game, just to have a better result, I guess, in terms of the eye test. So we'll see how that plays out, but this should be a very fun one tonight, one way or another. Either the Leafs are going to play horribly again, we can all talk about that, or there will be a better result. A lot of the Capitals, a lot of guys. What's up, Jose? Nice to see you again. And yes, Portugal. But we are doing the anthems here, so we're set for puck drop in just a few moments. So that's pretty exciting. But lots to talk about tonight in terms of the starting lineups. I'll get them for you guys here in a second. But it seems like a lot of Capitals either sick or out of the lineup tonight. So Leafs have to take advantage of that tonight. That's like, there's no other way around it. At this point, this needs to be a win, I think, for the Leafs tonight. Build momentum. You head into Saturday against the Nashville Predators team that is not very good. And then it's a back-to-back Saturday, Sunday with Dallas on Sunday. So this is a big 2 points up for grabs tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully it's a big win for the Leafs tonight. But what does everyone think about Dennis Hildeby starting tonight? They're giving Joseph Woll a bit of a rest. Now you play Nashville on Saturday. Do you go back to Hildeby if he plays well tonight? I think you do. And then you give Woll to Dallas because, if Hildeby plays well tonight, well, it really depends. It depends how much confidence you have in Hildeby. It depends how he plays tonight. So I think that's how they'll rock it. Depending how it goes tonight, they'll see, who starts on Saturday and Sunday. Again, we're just moments away from puck drop. But let me know in the chat who you think should be starting for the Maple Leafs on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Woll on Sunday. That's kind of how I'm leaning. We'll see what they're thinking. I never really know. There's a couple things I picked up on Berube. He's a very simple guy, and I love it sometimes. But a couple things I picked up on Berube. That one, I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to go with there, but we'll see. Let's get through tonight first, and we'll make a decision. If Hildeby's awful tonight, we know what's happening Saturday. You need to pick up 2 points. You'll go to Woll. But what's going on, Junior? Nice to see you in here. And Jose, of course. Dodgers Digest making an appearance every single live stream. Nice to see you guys here in the chat. Excuse me. Who do you think is going to win the Cup this year, top 5? I mean, Colorado's in the mix, obviously. I think Dallas is certainly in the mix, although missing Sagan really hurts them. I think, Carolina might actually be in the mix this year. They don't really scare me that much. Watch out for the Leafs if they make the playoffs. I know everyone's going to scoff at that, but something about this team still just makes me wonder. But in terms of a top 5, you're looking at that. I mean, watch for the Oilers again if they make the playoffs. I'm not too scared about the Panthers making the playoffs. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. So we'll see. But I mean, anytime you go to 3 straight Stanley Cup final and you win back-to-back Stanley Cups, I think you can take a year off. Nobody's really going to care. If the Leafs miss the playoffs after winning 2 Stanley Cups, I don't even know if I would watch that season, honestly. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't worry about it. Nice to see you, Victus. Edmonton, yeah, I think is a good point. Edmonton makes the playoffs. I think they're a pretty good bet to go back to the final. I think hockey's 90% mental at this point. So they have that mental mindset. That's the same thing. I don't know what I even said there. They have that mentality is what I'm trying to say. We are seconds away from puck drop here, guys. Pretty exciting game. I'm looking for a big game from Dakota Joshua as well. Let me know who you think is going to be the Leafs' best player now, and we'll revisit at the end of the stream. That'll be fun to watch as well, see how this game progresses. But yeah, Profit saying Hildeby Saturday, Woll Sunday. Totally agree with that. That's how I would rock it. go back-to-back with Hildeby, give wool to the better team, I think. And it's not because I don't have faith in Hildeby. He's been playing great, but I think there's certain holes in his game still, and don't give him to Dallas in Dallas is my thought process. Give him to Nashville, who's a poor team in Nashville. Puck is down, and we are underway here in the first period. The third line starting tonight. The third line has been very good. We have McMahon, Dakota Joshua, and Nick Waugh up the middle. Those three together have looked awesome. We know what McMahon brings, and Dakota Joshua, man, silently 9 points in 6 games. He's been unbelievable as of late, saved by Hildeby, and we have an early whistle here. There's going to be a face-off to his right. We also have some changes to the lineup tonight. We have the first line is the same. The second line is a little bit different. We have Cowan up with Robertson and Tavares tonight. And then the third line, of course, as I just mentioned, those three. Your fourth line is Domi down on the fourth line with Lawton and Lorentz. And I'm looking for more ice time for Lorentz tonight. Lawton. I keep getting those two mixed up. I'm looking for more ice time for Lawton. And I would even go as far, puck is down here, Leafs gain possession. I would even go as far as to say Cowan should be, maybe not scratched, but move down the lineup for Lawton. Lawton's been playing really well on limited ice time. He should, I think, get a little bit more, maybe a look there, icing by the Leafs there. 2 quick whistles here to start this one after the fastest first period of all time a couple weeks ago on Thanksgiving Friday. That was already 20 days ago. I was live for that game as well. Prophet saying I don't like the second line. I would put a lot in there. Try it. See what happens. He's been generating a little bit. Very limited ice time. Why not? Looks like we have a power play coming to the Leafs. No power play. No power play the last time they were in Washington. They get one 45 seconds into this game. Ice sticking penalty here. Oh no, guys! Oh no! Get ready! It's a Leafs power play. Nothing's gonna happen. Can we decline it? Can we decline it, please? Can we decline the power play? Leafs win the faceoffs back to Nylander at the point. He loses the puck. Nylander was also rocking black tape on his, and we know what particular hockey players are. Black tape today at morning skate. He has swapped it. He is using white tape. I'm sure so many of you and everyone out there care about that, but something to know. He was trying something new. Todd is saying that he loves the Robertson line. Some youth with Tavares there. I do like it. Nice tip play. The Leafs power play looks a little bit more dangerous so far. I say that very lightly, very loosely, by the way. Riley to Nylander at the point. Nylander down low to Matthews. Not sure why he's the one that's down low. One-timer by Nylander, and that's swallowed up by Thompson. Get Nylander off the power play. That's an interesting one. You know what I'd like to see? You guys let me know if this is a little out there. What I'd actually like to see, Nylander on the second unit and the second unit start. Let me know if that's out there. But that's what I would actually like to see at this point. Nylander on the point, like one of the point guys. Nylander on the point with OEL and the second unit. I just want to see what it looks like. How it moves. Because that second unit has been way better than the first. And the puck is down again. Down into the Leafs zone. The Leafs are one of the worst teams in terms of puck possession in the offensive zone on the power play. Which is a stat that certainly exists. And again, I appreciate all of you guys. Puck is back into the zone. Leafs have possession. Appreciate all you guys tuning in here tonight. Have another fun one planned for you guys tonight. And of course, these third periods get a little crazy. So that's always fun. Puck is down the ice again, and the Capitals clear. 35 seconds left here on this first Leafs power play of the night. Shots are 1-0 for the Leafs. Nick Waugh comes in. He passes off. Shoot that puck. OEL has it. He shoots. It's deflected just wide. Domi. Oh, Cowan just misses the crossbar. Just over the bar. Nice pass by Domi to thread the needle there. Nice hit by Domi at center ice as well. We're back to even strength. Cowan just missed that. I also have a less delayed stream tonight. I noticed I was like a little bit behind the other night, so that'll be nice. Oh, nice play by Nick Waugh. He gets it over, just missed by Lawton. Lorenz skates past it. Leafs are generating some chances here, which is good to start the game because that never happens to start the game. Great play by Waugh. Also, reminder, the Capitals, very, very sick. They're all sick. They have the flu. Spencer Carberry came out, former assistant coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, came out and said so. So that's a thing they're dealing with as well. Leafs got to win, is my point. And we have a super chat from Jose. Jose, thank you so much. Our first super chat of the night, $20. Jose, thank you very much. Your support has been unbelievable on the channel from the very beginning. We really, really appreciate it, Nick and I. You guys make everything possible here. Whoa, off the post by the Caps. And a penalty coming to the Leafs. Whoa. That was close. That was close. Again, sorry, just trying to collect myself after that. I hit the post. They took a penalty. Caps are going to the power play. Thank you, Jose, again. I'll play this again. Go Leafs, go. Jose, your support again on the channel has been unbelievable. Without you and without everybody, this doesn't happen. So thank you very much. Nick and I, it doesn't go unnoticed. We really, really appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Capitals to the power play here. Lawton off for 2 or less. Hopefully the full 2. That'd be ideal. Quick clear for the Leafs. The Leafs penalty kill is actually almost 83% on the year. They're 8th in the NHL. Caps power play is abysmal this year. 27th in the league. Back to the point. One-timer by Ovi, and he just misses. He's actually, and this is a crazy stat, he scored on a lot of goaltenders in his career. Hasn't scored on Dennis Hildeby. I'm sure he wants that one as well. I'm sure he wants that goalie stick to put in his house as well. Ovi misses from his spot, though. That's crazy. Missed from his spot, Prophet. That's crazy. Who is this guy? Excuse me. Caps just kind of passing it around the perimeter here. Trying to get something going. Looking for something on the bumper. Be nice if they scored a shorthanded goal here. I think they already have 2 on the year. I say already. I mean, some teams have more, but I think they have 2 on the year. Ovi hasn't moved, by the way. Like, he doesn't move on the power. It looks like his... For anyone who's played, like, the NHL video games, his controller has died. He hasn't moved at all. Right back to the same spot. He's hovering at the blue line. They gain the zone. He stands there. He's waiting. It's going to come to him now. And he hits the post. Hildeby makes the save on the rebound. It's still loose in the crease. I don't understand how this guy does it, man. This guy is the greatest goal scorer of all time. Literally. Literally is. Wow. So 2 posts for the Canadians. Also looks like there's a delayed penalty on the Leafs coming here. We are back to even strength. But there is a pending penalty coming to the Leafs here. Ref's getting in the way early in this one. Don't like it when the refs dictate this early, because you know it's going to get real quiet when it matters. Ooh, collected in front by Matthew Nyes. That was close. Caps are going back to the power play, but not before we head to a commercial break. So, another penalty kill coming up for the Leafs here, guys. Big save by Hildeby there on that rebound, man. He looks good so far. The Leafs also generating some chances, but man, back to the second penalty kill of the game so far. Can't get behind the 8 ball like this too early. You don't want to give up an early goal to the Caps. You want to start in front. I mean, ideally every game. This has been a better start, though, I think, in general for the Leafs this game, which is good. Like, they actually look like they've started on time a bit, besides taking 2 penalties. So I guess you pick and choose your battles sometimes in terms of that. But, yeah, I mean, that's a better start for the game. How are we feeling so far, everybody here in the chat? And while you're at it, where are you watching from? Let's get a roll call going. Where is everybody watching tonight from? And we got a lot of Leaf fans all over the globe here. So appreciate all you guys. And I know we got a diverse group here. Subscribe to the channel as well. So got a lot going on. What did everyone think the other night as well? Let's get the chat going. What did everyone think of Joe Bowen night the other night? Everybody think of that? Nice little comeback for Joe. I'm glad that they got the win for him. He deserved it. And a nice little win there on Joe Bowen night the other night. Victus is watching from Stockholm, Sweden. Shout out. Stockholm, Sweden. Marner was on the TV. Yes, I did see him. He's in a lot of commercials all of a sudden. A lot of commercials all of a sudden. Nice play by Stetcher there on that play, if anyone's watching the replay. Just batting the puck away. Jumping almost over the net. Wait a minute. Well, is that the penalty? Yeah, that's not a penalty. All right. Now that I saw that replay, that's not a penalty. Can they review this? Oh, he is going to the box now. That is not a penalty. That was a follow-through. He was dumping the puck in. Let me see here. Showing the replay right now. Yeah, he turns, he goes to shoot it in, he dumps it in, and on the follow-through, it nicks him. That's not a penalty. Can you review that? Because that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. They just said Ovi's almost up to 4 minutes of ice time. They've only played about 6.5 here this game. Because of the power play. I'll get to your comment in a second here, God. God. Stomach. Caps passing around the perimeter. At least they're doing a good job of kind of boxing it out right now. Or boxing it up, I guess. Shot deflected wide. Low event power play. I like it. Nice play by Lawton at the line. He gets it out. Let's go, Scott. Let's go, Scotty. Oh, and he almost gets... Lawrence almost got a breakaway there. Caps would get it back into the zone. Stopped by Hildeby. Oh, boy. Miscommunication with Benoit there. High off the glass and out. 1 minute left in this power play. Leafs doing a good job of killing it off tonight. Leafs are 8th in the league in penalty kill. Or their penalty kill is 8th in the league, I should say. Here comes Sonny Milano streaking into the zone. He's going to throw it around the board. Stopped by Riley. Riley gets it out and all the way down the ice. 40 seconds left here on the power play. Penalty kill. Sonny Milano again. He passes off to... oh. Okay, it's kept alive by John Carlson. At the lot. Ooh. Nice block by McCabe. These guys are eating pucks. We got 15 seconds left here in the penalty kill. Over to Ovi and a big save by Dennis Hildeby on Alex Ovechkin from almost the blue line. Right from the point, one-timer. But anywhere is that guy's sweet spot. If it's on the left side. Nice save by Hildeby, though. Got a face off to the right of Dennis Hildeby here. And the Leafs get it and collect it and shoot it down right on goal. And we are back to even strength. Great kill. 2 early penalty kills. 2 shots on that power play. Caps are throwing a lot of shots towards the goal, not necessarily on the goal. But the Leafs have an opportunity to get to work here now. 5 on 5. And shorthanded for essentially the last 4 minutes consecutively of game time. Didn't think that was a penalty either. So that was interesting. OEL in on the forecheck. OEL for some reason. A little bit of interference there on Nylander on the forecheck. Big hit by Benoit. High stick on OEL. Nothing. Benoit's getting tied up. There's nothing there as well. Calling for a penalty. I don't think anything is going to happen there. Oh! Nice play by Nylander. One-handed to the front of the net. He gets it to Tavares. And we got another. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? We got another penalty. And this one is going to the Capitals. The Capitals. The Leafs are going back to the... Oh, no! The Leafs are going back to the power play. Can we decline the penalty? Can we decline the penalty? Leafs have come into this game with the fewest power play opportunities of any team, I believe they just said. Get a goal on this power play. Second unit starting. Oh, Robertson just misses. Second unit starting this power play. Cowan down low to Waugh. Waugh to Cowan on the half wall. Cowan to the point. Here's Domi. Domi gets it to OEL. He looks like he was going to shoot, but he doesn't. Back to Domi. They're passing around. Pitch and catch. Oh, nice pass by Domi. He's threading needles tonight through the middle. Back to the point. Yeah, first unit is not getting another opportunity for me. Oh, a nice play by Watt at the side of the net. Cowan was not there in front. Back to the point. Oh, this unit looks dangerous, guys. Shot by Domi, that's blocked. But they retrieve the puck. They look hungry. Look at this. Oh. Watt was going to drive the net there. He still has it. He's trying to get it. Oh, bad play. That's rimmed around and all the way down the ice. And there's a minute left on this power play. First unit's coming back on now. Riley comes storming up the ice. He drops it back to Nylander. Nylander's going to try and work his way in here. Nice to Nylander at the front of the net. They were trying for a rush chance there. Nothing. And this is going to go all the way down the ice. Wow, the contrast of the second unit to the first unit is staggering. I would love to see that second unit start another power play. Back around to Tavares to... Oh! Matthews trying to set up somebody. Puck comes out. Leafs dumped the puck in. Yeah, I agree. Matthews needs to shoot a little bit more. Remember when he used to just shoot from anywhere and score? I remember. Matthews has the puck here in the corner. Back to the point. Riley shoots and misses the net. Tavares on the rebound, goes through the crease and out the other way. Nylander shoots it. That's blocked. We are back to even strength. Caps have killed off the power play. And another nice save off the rush by Dennis Hildeby. Nice save. We're going to another commercial break. What did we think of that? What did we think of that second unit? That looked pretty good. I would like to see that again. I would like to see them start again. I liked that. Matthews got to shoot more. He's got to be more. His instincts are off this year. Like, it's not even instincts. He's just not doing it. He needs to get to it. Crazy. We are now at commercial. Where's everyone watching from? I keep doing the roll call, but where is everyone watching this stream from? Nice to see everybody back in the chat. I'm sure it's going to be very busy come the third period. Remember that Buffalo goal Matthew scored where he scored from the corner out of the spinorama? Good old times. Hey, Prophet, remember that? I remember that goal very vividly. And not just that one. He did that 3 times that season. He did it in Arizona for his 50th. It's the exact same goal. You can go search them up. The exact same goal. And then in the second game of the season of that season against the Minnesota Wild, no, not Minnesota. I think it was Montreal that year, the first game. He scored that same goal. He just, like, from the corner, just rifled it low. Hard and low, bang. And I have to say, like, I don't know why he's not doing that anymore. It's so deceptive. Goalies have no idea. And he wasn't doing that last year. He stopped doing that this year. I was like, man, this guy keeps adding little tricks to his, up his sleeve that he just pulls out. I'm like, this is awesome. I have to say, I stole that trick for some of my men's league games. And it works, man. Goalies have no idea what's going on. You just turn and put it hard and low through the 5-0, bang. It goes in. They have no idea what's going on. And he stopped doing it. I can't understand it. Can't understand it, Prophet. I don't know. He must be hurt. He must be. There's no other explanation to me. I mean, like, he's completely changed everything he's doing. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you again. Remember you from the last couple streams. Leafs are going to win. I agree. This is a much better start. They look awesome so far tonight. Caps are pushing as well. But I think they need to win this game. A lot of the Caps are battling the flu as well, according to head coach Spencer Carberry, who, for those of you who remember, was the former assistant coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs just a couple years ago. Shot on goal by Sandin. That is steered aside by Dennis Hill to be out of play. Hope everyone's also having a great holiday season, however you celebrate. Hope everyone has plans next week with their loved ones and whatever that may look like for you guys. Hope you guys are all excited, and hopefully everyone has their Christmas shopping done. I still have a few things to get. And I waited till the last weekend possible to do it, so very excited to see what the malls look like this weekend. I'm going to bet the Matthews anytime goal. I hope I don't regret it. I do smell, and I don't know what the score is going to be. Big hit by McCabe at the line. I smell a Matthews third period goal. The Leafs could be up huge. Maybe they're down by a couple. Maybe it's a tight game. I don't know what it is, but I smell a Matthews third period goal coming tonight. I do believe it's happening. Nice setup by Sub. Go Leafs, go. Epic, you will not be disappointed. This channel, we got stuff coming out every day. We got you guys staying up to date with the Leafs, everything to do with the Leafs, any minuscule move that they make. And we got live streams, we got watch-alongs, post-game streams, all that fun stuff here on Leafs Digest. We'll keep you up to date with everything going on with the Leafs. Got some interesting content coming this weekend as well. And some stuff planned. We're going to have uploads for you guys all next week. We will have an upload for you guys like last year and the year before on Christmas Day. We don't miss a day. We don't miss days here. We will have something for you guys on Christmas Day. Yeah, World Juniors on Boxing Day as well. We're going to have a video for you guys on Boxing Day, but 8 o'clock rolls around. Or I think they're playing at 8 that day. World Juniors are on. Canada has a good team this year. Very good team. I think there was a couple snubs, but I'm actually very happy with the roster selection. I watch a lot of junior hockey, so I'm really excited to see what this team does this year. I think they have it in them. I do. Goaltending's certainly good enough. You have 2 solid goaltenders. Ivan Kovic is man. Nashville drafting him. They're set with their goaltending for a long time. He looks really good. Forward group looks really, really good. Really skilled. I think you have a good mix of like different things you need, and the Capitals score. Tipped in from awkward play from behind the net. And it squeaks in. It looks like one of the Caps... one of the Leafs put that in the end. Unfortunately. 1-0 Caps. I watch a little bit of the NFL. Not so much college football, but I do watch, I'll watch the playoffs, but I don't really have a team or... I mean, the Gators, maybe. I got a Gators hat. Maybe the Gators, but don't really watch too often, and I don't really have a team. And I'll watch the playoffs, when it's on, at the end, coming up here. That'll be pretty exciting. But yeah, I watch a little bit of the NFL. I have a lot of friends that are Steelers fans, so I keep up to date with teams like the Steelers and Bills, of course. But surprisingly, a lot of people find this very surprising. I'm actually a Carolina Panthers fan. And they've been horrible for about 4 years now at this point. This year's actually been really good, but I'm not. We got a 2-on-1 here. Right in front to Wah, he just misses. Good defensive play there by, I believe, actually maybe it wasn't Sandine. OEL, off OEL. But I'm actually a Carolina Panthers fan. And, horrible for the last 4 years. This year's been a little bit better. I'm not feeling too hopeful about the playoffs because of the schedule that's remaining here. 2 games against the Bucks coming up. Not looking good. They got to win this. This is a crucial game this weekend, so see how that plays out. But don't pay too much attention to that. I mean, hockey in the NHL is my bread and butter. Not just the NHL, but love junior hockey too. Worked in the OHL for a while, so I have a great appreciation for junior hockey, how that works, and the rules and stuff like that, because it is a little bit different than the NHL. So. And the roster moves. You have to be very strategic. Nice play by Cowan. Oh, a nice play by Tavares. Okay, the Leafs are generating some chances. Thompson covers up there. But they're generating some chances. I think they're passing a little bit too much there. I'd like to see... Great play by Cowan. I'd like to see Robertson shoot that puck, but they almost got a goal there. Yeah, Mark, I think OEL was getting ready for the FIFA World Cup with that goal a little bit. Anybody excited for the World Cup next year? It's coming to Canada. Toronto's got some games, but also Canada. Vancouver's got some games as well. But, man, Italy, if they make it through their playoff there to make it into the World Cup, they will open the World Cup against Canada in Toronto. That's insane. There's going to be a lot of blue in those stands. Cincinnati Bengals fan, man. Chris, tough season, man. Joe Burrow going down early. Really changed the trajectory of that entire season for that team, man. Too much pressure on him coming back, I think. Hey, please win out. But very difficult. But World Cup should be fun. Obviously, NFL playoffs. What's up, Patrick? Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's in the Christmas spirit as well, in the holiday spirit, Jose's a 49ers fan. Jose, you guys are taking great care of Christian McCaffrey for me. I appreciate that. If he was going to go anywhere, I was like, I hope they take care of that guy, man. I have his jersey, and I was like, damn, when they traded him, I was like, I get it, because you're not going anywhere, and you want to get something back for the guy. And obviously he wanted to go somewhere where he was going to play, meaningful minutes. But, man, one of the best, when he's healthy, one of the best, if not the best running back, I think, in the league. So, I miss Christian McCaffrey. What's up, Twisted? Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good night. Packers fan over here. Let's go. Packers. Great team this year, actually. Very interesting season in the NFL in general. So many injuries. I mean, the Ravens were... they had a lot of injuries early on this season. A lot of teams that were expected. The Bills have had a weird one. Anybody a Bills fan here? I haven't seen any Bills yet. It's weird. A lot of Bills fan in Toronto. We're back here from commercial. We got Tavares set to take the face off here. Second line's out there now to finish what they started off that play. Alexei Protas gets that goal for the Washington Capitals. Buffalo Bills fan, no Mahomes or Burrow to go through the playoffs now. Fine by me. Bills, man, they got... there's no boogeyman left. We'll see what they can do. Every year they look good and they run into Mahomes. So, and I was elated to see the Eagles win last year. Yeah, Casey out of the playoffs and poor. You know what? All of that saying like you like to see a giant fall sometimes, like the Panthers. For example, in the NHL, I was really, I was like, Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs. Gives an opportunity for another storyline. I kind of like that. Seeing him go down, Mahomes with that injury, I hate that, man. Like that really sucks. I hope he recovers well and he's back to playing and all that, because that is tough, especially with them already out. Like that is just a huge blow. But I can't say that I'm not happy to see them out of the playoffs. Oh, another goal by the Caps. Bounce off the boards in front, and Chikrin gets on that one. 2-0. Now, I mean, if we want to stay optimistic, I'll get to some questions in a second. If we want to stay optimistic, it was 2-0 Leafs in this building 20 days ago. And the Caps won that game 4-3. So, or 4-2, I believe. This is a tough start. Though you had an opportunity to score on the power play. 2 power plays to start this game. Caps are a good team. They got to get going here. Leafs need a goal bad. Can't keep chasing, man. They actually started this game not bad. Now we're chasing again. Brutal. Back underway here. Casey out. Hey, Nate, thank you. First time viewer, my man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate that. Hopefully it's not your last time viewing. We got a lot going on here on the channel. Appreciate everyone's support here. And we got a lot of regulars. You'll enjoy this community and this chat. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Italy versus Canada as an Italian is tough, but Canada first. See, a lot of people are asking me that because it's no surprise. And Jose, we've talked about it on stream before too. I'm Portuguese. But I'm Canadian. And if Canada was in that spot where it's like they were opening the World Cup versus Portugal, people have been asking me recently, like, if I was in that scenario, what would I do? Who would I cheer for? Because I've grown up my whole life, Canada hasn't been in the World Cup, and I've been cheering for Portugal. And the Euros and Nations Leagues, all these different, World Cup. Who would I cheer for? And to that I say, it's not happening, and we don't know, so we'll never find out, and we'll see. We'll see if they end up playing each other. I don't think they could in the same bracket. I think it would be in the final. I could be wrong, but I don't know if Canada is going to get that far. We'll see though. They look pretty good. They have some good pieces. Some young players coming up too. They're an emerging nation in terms of World Cup status. Not just World Cup. I mean, like, another penalty coming here. Are the Caps going to the power play here? No, the Leafs are going back to the power play. Decline! Keep it 5-on-5. Decline the penalty. Let's get back to it here. Let's see. Hildeby sucks. Way too luggy in the crease. He definitely has deficiencies in his game. Still, he's not ready yet. He's looked good, and I've said it in videos. I've said for the last week he's not ready yet, like full time. But he has looked good, so you ride him, right? But he still needs some time to marinate in the AHL. Doesn't mean he's a bad goalie. Ooh. So I got a problem with the clock here. We're at least doing nothing here on the power play. Surprise, surprise. This first unit looks horrible. Like, if you're Berube, how could you possibly start this first unit? The Leafs are probably, odds are, not getting another power play for the rest of the game. Oh, man, breakaway here. Oh. Roy misses the pass. Oh, that's horrible. This first unit looks awful. Like, if you're Berube, odds are you're not getting another power play the rest of the game. Maybe one more. How could you possibly start this first unit? It's abysmal. It's awful. It is awful. Yeah, hold on. I want to get to the Hildeby thing in a second. He's been playing great. Great save percentage. You ride the hot hand. However, and I've been saying it in videos, and we got a stoppage here, offside here at the Caps line. This power play has looked, just an absolute waste of time. This power play is. And the speech in the first intermission is going to fall on deaf ears again. But anyway, he's a good goalie. But you can see it too when like pucks come in and you deflect him to the corner. You can see like he's not like his technical prowess, let's say, is not quite there yet. And certain things like that. But I feel like he has like that it factor that he's going to be a good goalie. Like I feel like he has the ability to stay calm in the big moments. Like that game against Montreal, he was really good. But then in the shootout, like Caulfield scores a goal where it's like you should never score a goal like that in a 6-7 goaltender. So little things, but he's going to clean them up with the Marlies and it'll be fine. So when we did a video a couple weeks ago or maybe last week about, hey, you got to trade a goalie, right? Not yet. Probably in the off season, heading into next year. You probably have to trade a goalie because now you have to put Hildeby through waivers. Period is now over. We're back to full strength. And it is 2-0 heading into the second period. But a couple deficiencies in his game. But ultimately, he's going to go back to the Marlies. He's going to iron those out and he'll be a fine goaltender. He's still very young. Goalies, to me, like don't judge him until they're like 25, 26. He's still a very young goaltender. So I'm excited to see what he is. But I think he's the future. Him and Axiomov, I think, are the future goaltenders of this team. Really, really good job by the Leafs, and I have to say Hildeby was a Dubas thing, so credit where credit is due, man. And he was an older goaltender when they took him, too. A lot of people were like, what's that? So, getting Nylander and Riley off the power play. Riley probably has to go. OEL should be there. Don't start the first unit. Start the second unit. There's way more urgency there. The problem is urgency. We know these guys have skill. The problem is urgency and giving a general shit. But we'll see what Berube says here in the second intermission. Probably a whole lot of the same stuff we've been hearing the last little while, and they're not going to listen to him. So, Prophet says, Riley's such a bad hockey player that it feels like we are playing 5 forwards. Riley's so weird to me, man. Like, because in the playoffs, you're like, this guy comes to play every time. But, it's crazy. Can the Toronto Maple Leafs score a goal? I'm hoping that they do as well. I don't know if that second goal for Hildeby. Tough. First one, that happens to teams. Second one's tough. Patrick, congrats on your raise. Right before Christmas, man. What a great Christmas gift. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Toronto has had... I would say, nameless, I have to disagree. Frederik Andersen. And yes, he had his deficiencies in the playoffs, and like he didn't have that ick factor. Like he was like Mitch Marner if he was a goalie. Like regular season, you're like, thank God we have this guy. And then playoffs, it was like, oh boy, in those big moments, right? But I do think he was a solidified number one. They had him for years. Like, when was he around from? 16, 17 to maybe 22, right? And then he was with them 22, but then Campbell finished that season, I think. Or maybe it was 21. I could be wrong. I think he was here for 5 years. I would say he was a solidified number one. Outside of that, you're absolutely right. It was Belfour last, and that's a joke. And then before him, it was probably Curtis Joseph, and then maybe Felix Potvin. So if you go back like 40 years, it's maybe like 3 goalies. Yeah. No, it's Freddie. That's the only answer. Because then after that, like, before that is a joke. I mean, I love James Reimer, but let's be real. Before that is an absolute joke. After that, Jack Campbell, give me a break. Samsonov was a failed experiment. Who's been here since? Was Stolarz right after that? I guess Stolarz, but I mean, he hasn't been around long enough. And then these young guys look pretty good. But they have, to work on some things. So, we'll see. Let's get into some other stuff here. Canada World Juniors, thoughts on what you did think of the Sweden game? Team looks great. Goal song is awesome. Tragically hip. Can't go wrong. I'm really happy about that. I was actually hoping it would be a hip song. no matter which one. But no, they look really good. The offense looks great. I like the roster selection. I think leaving Justin Carbonell off this team is a little puzzling, but I get it. You have to build a team. You can't just bring you can't just look up and down the list in terms of forwards and like who's the leading scorer and bring them. It doesn't work like that. You have to build a team, and certain guys have to play certain roles, and how that helps out. Last year, I think they made a huge mistake bringing certain guys I don't want to point out, and the coach was an issue as well, and that created a domino effect in the OHL. But besides all of that, I do like the team, and I was a little puzzled about, and they made some cuts today too. I was a little puzzled about, we can get into this more actually. I'll bring up the roster. I was a little puzzled about the Justin Carbonell snub, and nobody's really talking about it. He's one of the best goal scorers in the entire CHL. He's a St. Louis Blues prospect. Shocking that he was left off, to me. I think that's the one where they look back. If we're looking back, like at the end of the tournament, and you go, Canada couldn't score enough goals, or offense was their problem for whatever reason, you will look at that and you will go, we could have had Justin Carbonell. So I'll pull up the roster. I mean, I'll try my best to let you guys. I watch a lot of junior hockey, so try to look into it. Michael Misa is an interesting one. He's been loaned from San Jose. He's obviously like unbelievable. Braden Coots looked great at the NHL level as well. Gavin McKenna, we remember him. TJ Ginla is going to be a good player. He plays with that physical edge as well. He's not the biggest player, but he'll be good for the team. Jake O'Brien was cut today. He's an interesting one. He scored 70 goals in the OHL as well, but he was cut. Porter Martone, huge fan of Porter Martone. Philly getting this guy, watch out. If they mess that up, I don't know what to tell you. Porter Martone's probably, I don't know if he's going to show it this year, but all-around player, except for his skating, probably one of the best players on this entire team. So watch out for Porter Martone on this year's team. Jet Luchenko is a great player as well. Liam Greentree, he could be pretty good. He's going to be one of those guys throwing his body around, so look out for him. There's a couple good players. I mean, Brady Martin had a crazy goal last night. Kayshawn Aitchison, he plays for Barrie in the OHL. He's an Islanders draft pick. He's been unbelievable. I think he's trying for the goal record in the OHL this year, so he's been good. Brunick, he plays in the NHL with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He'll be a great defenseman. Leafs own Ben Danford on this team. Watch for that. I'm excited for him, so he's going to be great. A couple of really good defenders, honestly. Like this looks like a solid team to me. So if they mess this up, Michael Haig, from the Montreal Canadiens system as well. So if they mess this up this year, I mean, there's a lot of really good teams. Watch for Czech again. Sweden has a good team. US, of course. I think US might actually be a little weaker this year. But yeah, Justin Carbonell, dude, he's ripping up the league. I want to talk about him a little bit more. But yeah, watch for Ben Danford too. I think he's going to show out in this tournament. It's going to be very exciting. He just got traded to the best team probably in all of junior hockey in Brantford. They're going for it. So again, if they mess this up this year, and I'd love to do some content on this channel about the World Juniors. Maybe we can do some World Juniors watch along, stuff like that. And then in terms of goaltenders, Carter George was there last year, and so was Ivan Kovic. And Ivan Kovic was playing for the Brampton Steelheads in the OHL. He just moved to the University of Michigan this year. He is going to be the goaltender of the future for Team Canada. Remember Ivan Kovic when Canada is selecting their Olympic teams years from now. Remember Ivan Kovic. I'm telling you, he's a small goaltender. I believe he'll be the future of Canadian goaltending. Maybe not Carey Price. I don't know for sure, but what I watched them live multiple times last year. Unbelievable goaltender. Crazy. Anyway, I'll get back to the chat here. But Justin Carbonell, I just wanted to shout that out too. If they cannot score this year, Justin Carbonell being left off is a joke. An absolute joke. So, Leafs look disinterested on the power play. I don't understand why the first unit is starting. Give it to the second unit, right? Bench your guys. If they're not playing well, bench them, man. I don't care anymore. If they don't care, I don't care, man. Play the guys who want to be here. A lot of people saying we suck. 3 power plays and 4 shots in the period. It's awful. And where do those shots come from? I guarantee you it was the second unit. Noah saying, I'm from St. John Sea Dogs? Because St. John's also has a team now, the Newfoundland Regiment, and have season tickets. But man, Justin Carbonell is so good and talented. He's a great player. If they lose the next 3, Berube's gone. Yeah, he might have lost this room. Steve Dangle was talking about it the other day. He might have lost this room, and I don't know if it's his fault, man. I don't. This room has been lost before. And it's the same group, isn't it? Separate Willie and Austin on the power play. I was talking about that earlier as well. Maybe you do a little swap where Willie goes on the second unit. You start the second unit. That's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. I can't understand that third power play in that period. How that first unit starts that power play. I can't, after what we saw the first time. The second power play with the second unit out there. I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked how that works like that. Nylander goal second period. Okay, all right. We'll see. I really hate to sound pessimistic from Profit, but I think the Matthews we knew is gone. I really, really hope it's Berube's coaching, because if not, we're in trouble. Here's the other thing. So there was a tweet the other day. I'm going to pull this up. My friend sent this to me, and I really want to bring up this because you bring up coaching and if Matthews is just cooked because of an injury. Where is this? This tweet blew my mind. I don't know. Might have been on Twitter. Give me a moment here, guys. I hope I can find this because I thought this was super telling. But I'll kind of sum it up if I can't find it. But I prefer to read it verbatim. But don't know where it is. Anyway, the gist of it was somebody went back and watched the second period. And it was on Twitter somewhere. I wish I had it. I would bring it up if I had it. Somebody went back and watched the second period. And they were like, these were the last couple puck possessions by the Leafs. The last 10 puck possessions. And it was dump in, turnover, dump in, turnover, D-dump in, turnover, D-dump in, turnover, defenseman dump in, turnover, yada, 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 dump in, turnover, dump in, whatever it was, right? That was the last 10 possessions or whatever it was. And then going into that third period, obviously, Matthews only had the puck on his stick for 11 seconds. That was the big thing. So, to that I say, if he has lost the room, you can't airlift all these guys out and trade them all at the same time. It doesn't work. So you might have to change the coaching, right? We might be at that point now. It's possible. And I don't think MLSE is super over the moon about that because of what happened with Babcock, and they had to pay out 4 more years of his contract. Now, and I agree, Patrick, do not trade Ben Danford. Absolutely not. Him and Cowan, untouchables at this point. Do not trade them. But it might be at that point. But in terms of like the play style, Berube is saying, I want a Stanley Cup with this roadmap. Do this. And the Leafs players aren't doing that. They're not committed to it. They're not doing it, right? Now, you can also argue that this team is not built for Berube's style, but I don't know if that's necessarily true either because Treliving has been working with Berube for the last 2 years and brought in some players to add to his squad. They work hand in hand with each other. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. The top-end players, that might be true for, right? But the top-end players have been here for a while, and we know what happens when you give them something like, here, please work harder for me. Please play better for me. Here's a reward. We know what happens. They shit in your hand every time, right? So we know what this group is about. So to me, I have a hard time moving on from Berube at this point because we know what this top unit is about. We do. So that's just what it is, I think, at this point. I don't know what happens if they keep losing a couple. I mean, yeah, they're going to have to make a move, unfortunately, to try and salvage the season. But Profit, I agree with Savard's job. I think Savard was one of the, it was an awesome power play player. What is going on? And Berube, I agree, Patrick. Berube understands the game, how you win. He's won before, and it's a simple mentality. It really is, and it comes down to the mentality at the end of the day. I keep bringing it back to Patrick Maroon. He said that the Blues sucked. They had a players-only meeting, and they all decided we're going to buy into the strategy. And then what happened? They won the Stanley Cup. Because it's a simple game, and the skill shines through at the end, right? But you just got to do the same things consistently. This team, what does this team do that is consistent? Can anyone answer that in the chat? And don't say suck, because that's an easy answer. What does this team do consistently? I can tell you what Nathan McKinnon does consistently. I can tell you what Connor McDavid does consistently, right? And I guess I'm cherry picking certain players, but I can tell you what there's a lot of teams in this league that do certain things consistently. Even the Rangers, they're a bad team, right? They're not a very good team. I can tell you what they do consistently. Their system is they just can't finish. That's a team that can't finish. They don't have the top scoring like the Leafs have, right? If they had the Leafs finishing, that would be a top team in the Metropolitan Division. They play a consistent style defensively. The Leafs don't do anything. They don't do anything. They don't do anything consistently. They puck watch too much in their own zone. I don't know. Do you guys think they're trying to get Berube and company fired? Because I do wonder about that sometimes too. Like, there's teams that do that for sure. Is Berube the answer? Sorry, DeBoer the answer. Woodcroft? I don't think Woodcroft's the answer. DeBoer is an interesting one. He has a tendency to come into a new team, Vegas, the Sharks, Dallas, get them to the third round and then kind of dip and not get them over. So, I don't know. I don't think anyone knew if Dan Bylsma was going to be the answer for the Penguins in 2009, right? Like, there's certain things like that. Yeah, they need goaltending. I feel like they've gotten goaltending. The last 2 years, I don't think goaltending's been the issue. People said it was in the playoffs last year. I don't believe that's true. I don't. They were right there with Florida. At the end, it was just the collapse, right? The mental collapse in on themselves, I think, at the end. So, that's what that was. Turnovers. They do turn over the puck consistently, that's for sure. Babcock, Keefe, now Berube. Yeah. And moving up from a coach this soon, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I've definitely seen worse in the league, right? Like, look at the Sabres. But, and I think it could help turn the season around. But I think what Berube is preaching is something that it's a good thing and something that would help you win. So if you kind of throw that out the window and you bring in a new coach that's like, all right, guys, let's get you going here. I'm going to be the good cop again, like the Sheldon Keefe thing, right? Like, Babcock was bad cop. Then you have Sheldon Keefe come in. He's good cop. Now you have Berube come in because, you weren't getting it done with Keefe. You have all this skill and we were getting so close and you couldn't get it done. We need the bad cop back in. That's Berube. Now you want to go back to the good cop thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going around in a cycle. It's the same guys. So, no, I don't trade any goaltenders till the offseason. Leafs are totally fine with their goaltending. Do not trade it. Hildeby will go back to the Marlies, work on his craft, and we'll talk next year when he needs waivers. Boudreau is an assistant coach and promote him if Berube doesn't work out. I don't mind that either. I don't mind that one either. I think Boudreau has a good mind for the game. He'd be a good option here. I feel like he wanted to coach here too a couple of years ago. Is he retired? I'm not sure. I am not sure about that. I don't think he's officially retired. Riley's a forward, not a D-man. That's also a possibility. Got the second period starting here in just a few minutes, guys. Yeah, Nylander's not going anywhere. Nylander's a fine player. I just wonder about certain things sometimes. We know what he is at this point, right? You know what he is at this point. Matthews is a little shocking the last year and a half. Dodo man, the game sucks. They're down 2-0. I thought they had a better start than majority of the games I've seen this year, which is nice because this team can't start on time. I don't get it. It's like they show up to the game late. They're like, yeah, we'll figure it out in the third period, whatever. It's garbage. About ready here for the second period, guys. Gearing up for the second. If we have a system that is hampering our best player, why do we stick to it? I see that. I don't know if that's what it is. But Marner, okay. Last year, Marner was here. So a lot of these arguments I see this year, Marner was here last year. And we had Berube as the head coach. So, to me, he's got to be hurt. Matthews has to be hurt. And if he's not hurt, and he's playing this way because of the system, Fire Berube yesterday. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the case. He's got to be hurt. And the only reason I'm saying that, and like it can't be a systems thing, is because of what happened last year. He went to Germany, he got this treatment. We knew he was hurt. He wasn't going to be 100%. And it's kind of followed into this year. So to me, I'm like, he must be hurt, because if he's not, it is the system. And the Leafs organization knows this, that he's not playing well because it's the system. Get rid of Berube yesterday, man. You can't have a 70-goal guy turn into a 30-goal guy and look like he's not interested, right? That can't happen. But I don't think that's the case. I think he's hurt. But what about the rest of the team? What about the rest of the team, right? And this mentality that goes through the whole group. But again, it does start at the top. It does start with your captain, right? Second period's underway, by the way. I don't like this constant like yo-yoing of narratives either, because, you know, the Leafs captain has to be very stoic to succeed in this market. That's what the Leafs need as a captain. He needs to be stoic. He needs to not overreact to things and be very level-headed. And then you get one in John Tavares, and then you get one in Austin Matthews, and people go, why don't these guys show any emotion? We want these guys to show emotion. If you don't show emotion in this market, you won't survive. I hate the yo-yoing of this garbage year to year. I can't stand that stuff. They are who they are. Matt Sundin wasn't the most vocal guy. You can see him talking on the ice, but he wasn't like the most vocal guy. He led by example, right? He was like, I'm going to put you guys on my back. And I wish Matthews did a little bit more of that, of course. Even Tavares at times. But I'm going to put you guys on my back. We're going to get it done. But everybody follows suit. Let's go. I just hate the yo-yoing of the narratives year to year. Like figure it out. One or the other, man. You can get a lot for Wool, I think, if you were to trade him. Second period is not only devastating this year, Ben. It's been devastating since last year as well. I don't know what happened. It's a change in system, right? But I think you have to make adjustments, and they still haven't made adjustments. This has been it used to be their best period offensively, and now it's the worst period. They keep getting penned in their own zone. It's awful. Yeah, the problem has not been with coaching. It's always been the players and the depth of the lineup. Now you have more depth, but it's the mentality of these players. And I said it on the last stream, the last watch along I was doing. Do you think the Oilers are the most skilled team on paper in the Western Conference? No. They're not. I could find you like 3 better teams, 4 better teams maybe, in the entire West on paper. But McDavid wills that team to win. And not just him. Draisaitl. Their mental, the discipline, everything about it. They will that team to victory. It does not matter who's playing on the third line, the fourth line. Everybody follows suit. Play the right way. Some good points here. We got plays underway again. A little bit of back and forth action here. I'll get back to a lock-in here once something interesting happens. But now, yeah, but I don't think you trade Wool this year. I don't. And I like Joseph Wool. And out of the two, I hate using the word or the term injury prone. I hate it because stuff happens. Out of the two, Wool, I think, has been... Like, Stolarz got hurt in the playoffs. Who was there? It was Wool. And did we all feel, like, nervous? Maybe a little bit, but just in general. But he was there to kind of... He made some big saves, right? So I don't know if it's Wool. I don't know. Prophet saying, I do think that if they are playing a system that's hampering Matthews' scoring, it's probably at the hope it'll translate to the playoffs, barring they even get there. I do believe that this style that they play where they hang around in games and they try to continuously wear out the defense. But the problem with like wearing out the defense in this style is they're not committed to doing it. So if you're not committed to doing it, it's not going to work. It's going to look disastrous. But if you are committed to doing it, it might look a little bit worse in the regular season. Look at the Panthers. They went in the third spot last year. They didn't care where they finished. They go in the third spot and they're going to destroy your defense over the course of a series, and they're going to win the games. The skill will shine through and win you the games, right? And that's what happened. And you'll have, scoring from your third line. The Panthers' third line won that series against the Leafs. You'll get scoring from your third line. You'll get scoring from your fourth line throughout the lineup. Everyone follows suit. Everybody's playing the system, right? I do think that this system would translate better in the playoffs, but not if you are not committed to doing it. And it might look uglier in the regular season than Keith's system. Keith's system was like, man, it was so entertaining to watch every night in the regular season, but you got to the playoffs and you could see all these deficiencies. You could see all these holes, and not just the lineup and the roster, but in the style of play, right? They shut down a couple of guys throughout a game and it's over. The game is over. How many playoff games under Keith did you, like in the second period, go, this is over? Especially early. But I will say I think this system could translate a little bit better. Now, imagine if we got 46 goals from Matthews per series, not per playoff run. Series, I know, it would be huge. And look how many other players do that. Look at McDavid, how many points he gets in a playoff series, right? Like, it's crazy. He's insane. But, nice save by Hildeby. Shots are now 9-6 for the Capitals, by the way. We have a breakaway. I'm going to take a moment here. We have a breakaway for Nick Waugh. He shoots, and it's just over the net. It's still in play, though, and we have it back to McMahon. Yeah, but look at all these other stars in the playoffs. They're putting up multiple points a series, right? The Leafs, I don't think they've ever had that, though, from their top guys. Maybe Nylander. He put up a lot of points last playoffs, actually. But I don't think they've ever had that, really, no matter the coach. No matter the coach. And it's just that the lights are too bright for these guys sometimes. Sometimes. Most of the time. Second half of the series. Remember what Pelly said. I have full confidence in Brad and Greg to head this team. I don't. As soon as the team stopped performing and like had a rough start to this season, everybody turned on Brad Treliving. You remember that? How fast that happened? What were we saying 6 months ago? Man, Treliving's building a real good team here. Very exciting. Now everyone had their reservations and had their concerns about Mitch Marner leaving. Right? But Nick Wall has been really good tonight. Right? The Marner thing, they're like, okay, this is going to leave a hole, whatever. But what were we talking about for the last couple of years? Marner's soaking up so much money. We got to fill in this lineup with other guys who can score in the bottom six, make your bottom six stronger, have more of a defined role, not just guys you're finding that you bring in and don't, aren't heavy, all of these things, right? Icing against the Leafs here. Shots 11-6 for the Capitals. I just think sometimes we yo-yo a lot, and some of the things that you hear are not from people who actually watch the Leafs or are Leafs fans. That's just my point. But to say Keith Pelly came in, he's like, we're not here to sell jerseys, whatever, and like he's following through on that, they're going to say that stuff when they come in, right? Are they actually going to follow through on some of this stuff? I don't know. You can't take that stuff at face value sometimes, right? Of course, they still want to sell jerseys. But I think they want to build a winner, and to build a winner, you got to play different than the way you were playing before. I love to use the Caps as an example, man. The players like Ovi, before he won that Stanley Cup, there was people questioning if he actually loved like the game and if he was dedicated to big save by Hildeby on the side of the net, and if he was dedicated to winning and changing his style of play because he needed to. Nice play by Cowan there to get it to Robertson. That was a nice little play between the legs. A lot of people were questioning that. A lot of people forget now because he's won that Stanley Cup. But he changed the way he played, that whole team, and they all followed suit. That's what needs to happen. It's a mentality and a play style change that they all have to commit to if they want to win. It might look a little bit uglier in the regular season, but it'll pay off when it matters most. Ooh, nice save by Thompson there on Tavares. But it really depends. Do you think this group has it, right? Like a lot of people were questioning if Ovi had it. He changed. Does this group have it? It really comes down to that if you believe that. And Treliving's been talking about DNA change, right? So what does that look like? What's his definition of that? I'm interested. That's a big save by Hildeby there. If they go down 3-0, this game could be over. And we saw just a couple days ago. They look better through a period and a half so far tonight, but we saw a couple nights ago, they can still come back even when it looks horrible. So Tavares okay on the bench here. He's got blood coming out of his nose. They need a goal here. This period. Ooh, that's a tough play by Cowan up the middle there. That is a tough one. They also don't move the puck fast enough. Like Riley on that last play there, he's not moving that puck fast enough. Nice play, nice forecheck here by Cowan. He's in with Lawton. Lawton steals it. He's in front. Backhand just wide. Nice save by Logan Thompson. Back to Lawton. I told you guys, we're going to get that petition going. Lawton needs more ice time. Give Lawton more ice time. Oh, Lawton with a one-timer from the slot. Just missed that one, too. Yeah, RJ, the Celebrinis are crazy, man. We're in a new era. They're going to be dominating Connor Bedard, at least offensively. Celebrini is also, I know a lot of people are talking about it, but man, he's great defensively too, man. He's a solid player. Bedard has that explosive shot in offense. Celebrini is just a great all-around player. Putting up a ton of points, responsible defensively. He's a really good player. Centerpiece of that franchise going forward. Sharks have done a very impressive rebuild. Got to keep some pieces there. Chicago kind of stripped it down to nothing. I feel like they made a mistake doing that. Sharks are doing it very well. Not for the top line. And you know what, Prophet? You bring up a good point. And I do wonder if, like, Berube... I think Berube works with certain players, too. Like, you always see him talking to Nylander. Like, if he... You know what I mean? Like, I think you get into dangerous territory if you start to tailor certain things for certain lines and certain players. Like, everybody's kind of got to do the same thing and fall in line and kind of, you know, do things consistently. I think that's the biggest thing. But I do wonder if sometimes it's like, hey, you know, I know Willie likes to do these things, so maybe we tailor this to him. Or I wonder about that sometimes, but I don't know if that's possible because then some other players get the wrong message. Leafs are kind of pinned here. Oh, puck's coming down, all the way down. Get a change. Get a change. Get a goal while you're at it. Would be nice. Ten minutes left here in this second period. Riley with a shot in on Thompson. Thompson makes a save. He swallows it up, and that'll be it. And that'll be it. We are headed to commercial. Ten minutes left in the second period. I would be a little concerned at this point if the Leafs don't score one here before the third, like Patrick said here, because this, unfortunately, is not the Chicago Blackhawks. This is the Washington Capitals. And I don't know if we're going to have two games in a row where you're coming back from 2 goals. I don't know if that's very likely at this point. So I don't know if I would want to bank on that at this point. See what happens. How's everyone feeling about this game so far? I mean, nothing crazy going. They're saying we need Michael Bunting. Would everyone be okay with a Michael... everyone okay with Michael Bunting for Matias Maccelli? I think I might be open to that at this point if Maccelli's not playing. Maccelli's going to get into a game this weekend, by the way, so watch out for that. I do think it's Saturday. I think he's going to get in Saturday. Depending what happens here. If they lose this game, Michelli plays Saturday. If they win this game, Michelli plays Sunday. Or maybe Michelli's playing Saturday either way. But he's getting into a game this week, and I think that'll be interesting. Berube was talking to him this morning. I think he was telling him what he needs out of him. And get ready because you're going this Saturday or Sunday, this weekend. Bunting would certainly stir things up. Bunting was certainly a pest, man. And we know he can play on a top line. I agree. If people stop... I mean... I feel like next year will officially be the year where we don't mention 16 anymore. Because you kind of have to with, like, you know, he only left last year. And how things are a little bit different because he was such a big part of the team. Like, you can't really, you know, shy away from that. But I have to say, you couldn't continue the way it was. So, couldn't continue the way it was. Yeah, I also like to... I'm very optimistic when it comes to this team. Super optimistic. And for better or for worse. And I get into trouble sometimes with, like, friends and stuff. And, you know, just talking about the Leafs in general, like, with how they're doing, I get into trouble sometimes. So, they... because everyone's like, they suck. But I try to remain optimistic about this group, man. I do. And I do think, you know, TJ Oshie was on... he was on a show yesterday, and he was talking about how he believes the Leafs will be in the mix by the end of the year. Like, they'll make the playoffs. They'll be looking a lot better. They're also dealing with a lot of injuries, right? Like, Carlo's out. For as bad as some of these guys are, like, and have been so far this year, like, a lot of guys are out with injury, right? Like, Tanev makes a huge difference. Look at last year. Makes a huge difference. So they need him back in the lineup. Ovechkin off the post, and Stetcher clears it. And I think there's another penalty coming. Slashing call coming to Washington. Is it? Yeah, Prophet. Michelli is playing... Is this a penalty on the Caps? Absolute rocket off the post. I guess we'll find out when we're back from commercial here. Got 8:16 left in the second period here. 2-0 Capitals. Shots are favoring the Capitals as well. But yeah, Michelli's coming back into the lineup. This morning he was at morning skate and he was talking to Berube. There was a pitcher. Yeah, we were talking about it in our video earlier, and I'm gonna have that for you guys in a few minutes here once we hit the intermission. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll play the video earlier from today. It gives more insight into it, but basically Michelli was out there morning skate. Berube is kind of like, hey, I need this from you. You're gonna get in here this weekend. Makes sense because it's a back-to-back. We know Berube likes to kind of mess around with things, and, you know, goaltending obviously, but some things with the lineup as well and back-to-back. So he's getting into a game this weekend, and I think Berube was in his ear telling him, please do these things. If you don't do these things, we won't see you again for a while or ever again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And one of the last times Michelli played, I was at the game. It was against his former team in Utah, and he played, I think he had 3 points. He was their best player that night. So, I of course, he had invested interest, but man. Patrick, I don't think Berube is getting fired anytime soon, man. I don't. If they were, like, bottom of the Eastern Conference, and it was maybe last year where there's a huge, like, gap between the best teams and the worst teams, I could see it being sped run a little bit. Like, maybe they're thinking about it already at this point. This year, I don't see it, man. They're a couple points out still. Like, you have a good week, you're in the playoffs. So, I don't see it happening anytime soon, man. I don't think MLSE wants to do that. Oh, the Leafs are going to a power play. There you go. Leafs to the power play. There's a slash by Dylan Strome. Leafs need a goal here. And if the first unit is starting, I'm going to crash out. It's obvious the first unit is going to start. They're not going to do anything. I'm so, like... We joke about it. They're not going to do anything. Oh, wait. This is a different unit. It's not a different unit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry. It's first unit. Yeah, Hildeby's been getting some help from his post. Hopefully he thinks his post like Fleury used to do. No, Tuukka Rask trade is way worse than the Carlo one, I think. Fraser Minton is a good player. He's Michelli, I think, has more points than him. this year. So, like, I don't know, guys. I don't think it was that bad of a trade, I have to be honest. And the Lawton one, I don't think it was that bad of a trade either, man. For where this team is going, I don't think it was that bad. I do like the Lawton trade a lot better, though. I will say that than the Carlo one, because I think Fraser Minton would have been like a perfect future third line center, just like a perfect guy to have in there. But so this power play sucks. They've done nothing for a minute. There's 50 seconds left, and the second unit's out there now. And, like, so here comes the second unit. Cowan's working his way up. He gains the zone, right? And now they have possession. So they actually gain the zone. OEL shoots. Oh, wow, almost scored. He's been, Prophet, you are correct. He's been their best player all night. Robertson backhand to the net. Look, 3 scoring chances already in the matter of 10 seconds. How are you not starting the second unit? This is a coaching thing. This is a coaching problem. This decision making here. 3 chances in like 10 seconds with only 45 seconds of time to get going here on this power play. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I've been saying it for a while. We were talking about it at the start of the year. I was telling Nick, we were doing a video and I was like, Nick, you know, we were watching the game last night and the second unit looks better. They look way better. We're back to even strength here. They look way better. Why aren't they given more of an opportunity? Tonight they look 10 times better than the first unit. And the first unit still gets to start the power play. That first unit didn't do anything. Squat. Wasted a minute, 10 seconds. Doing absolutely nothing. It's a joke. They weren't even in the zone, guys. It's not they were passing around the perimeter and not doing anything. They weren't even in the zone for the first minute and 10 seconds of that power play. Here comes Lorentz. He's got McMahon and Lawton with him. He spins to the front, misses both of them. They were both crashing the net. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, I think some ice time should come up for some players in the bottom 6, man. I do. McMahon should be getting more ice time. Drive the net a little bit, you know. Like, Joshua's been playing well lately. Cowan's looked pretty good tonight. Like, just eye test, I think. Wah's been probably the best player eye test-wise. I'm interested to see the impact score chart. Matthews just took a spill. Nylander dumps the puck in with you. There. Or he's with Nyes, I should say. Washington gains the zone pretty easily there. Didn't like that. Why are these guys floating, man? The top line's about to get pinned now. Guys, unfortunately, the problem is the best players. Oh, big save by Hill to be point blank, high danger scoring chance. Beautiful save. Beautiful save. Corey's saying, I agree with you. Unfortunately, I think the coach isn't going to last long, and it's not that he doesn't make very good coaching plans either, that the players are just not listening to him. And that's what it is. Sometimes you lose the room, even if you are a good coach. Unfortunately. .409 left here in the second period. Still 2-0 Capitals. Yeah, it's maybe an average regular season team. Unfortunately, I feel like even if they're in the playoffs, it is just an average team. At this point. I mean, definitely if you look at the standings, they're an average team. I mean, they do move up here if they win tonight, but it's not looking like they're going to win tonight. This is tough. This is not the same team, guys. I would like to see this team in the playoffs, though. Hmm. Kucherov's not playing for Tampa Bay tonight, so that's interesting in the Atlantic Division as well. No, you don't win by being nice in the NHL. You win by taking advantage of the other team's weaknesses and playing to your strengths. At least do one of those things. Matthews and Willie. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've noticed Willie do today is, like, stick handle through the neutral zone. Wow, their power play percentage this year is horrible. 14%, man. The worst it's been is last year at 20%. Common denominator here. Mark Savard. Oh, boy. Yeah, you can, like, being dirty and disrespectful is one thing. But, like, the Panthers are not, like, I don't know, they walk the line on certain things. But, like, Tampa, for example, like, they just play hard, man. Like, no mercy, man. They don't like losing. These guys don't hate to lose. I hate to bring up the Shoresy thing, but, like, these guys don't hate to lose. They don't. And that's the problem. It's not about winning. Losing has to eat at you. And I just don't think it does with these guys. I don't. I think losing eats at Nathan McKinnon. I think losing kills Connor McDavid. I don't see it with this group. I don't. And we're going back to the penalty kill, which might actually be a good thing because the penalty kills look better than the power play. Now we have some rough stuff. Okay, this might wake the boys up. I think it was Benoit that set this off because he knew he was getting a penalty here. Cap's going back. Yeah, but even in men's league, Patrick, like, I know it's for fun, but, like, oh my God, have some pride, you know? Like, like even in men's league, like, just have some pride. What, are you going to show up every week and not try? Like, get off the team then, you know? Like, try a little bit. You don't have to go super try-hard mode or anything like that, but, like, but this is the NHL, man. You're getting paid for this. Like, paid well, and, like, this is the opportunity so many people would like, if you don't have that, like, fire inside that you hate to lose, it eats at you, you think about it. OEL with the penalty here. Shots are only 16-12. I will say that the Leafs have been holding their opponents to, at least lately, I think, like, less shots. Edmonton, different story, but, like, less shots, more controlled. But at the end of the day, man, you got 0 goals, and the Caps have 2. That's been the difference, obviously, in our mood tonight. I hate losing. I hate it. It eats at me, and I just don't think that there's certain guys on this team that I just don't see that from. I don't know behind the scenes. We don't see what we don't see, right? But from what we do see, I don't think it eats at them that much. Even some of the answers. I think Leaf fans would just like some accountability. If you're losing and you suck and you look like garbage, saying that would go a long way. Ovi with the 1T, that's blocked. Lawton gets it down the ice. Yeah, blue and white disease. There's also the Muskoka 5. There's the Core 4. Every 10 years, history repeats itself. Can't wait for the next 10 years of Leafs hockey. Leafs clear the zone as well. Matthews gives chase here against Chychrun. He spins out. Oh boy. 5-on-3 here. Over to Ovi. Pass in front. Nice play by McCabe to break that up. Chychrun shoots. Nice play by Troy Stetcher on the side of the net against a much bigger Tom Wilson. Out-muscled him. And he almost did it again here. Matthews loses the puck battle against Wilson. Oh, Nick Wall has that taken away. Ovi shoots. Big, whoa, rebound to the slot. McMichael shoots. Big save by Hildeby. It's through the crease. He's swimming around. No, McMichael shoots again. Big save by Hildeby again. Whew. 19 seconds left on the power play. Chychrun has it at the point. Oh, great tie-up by Troy Stetcher. Troy Stetcher, great penalty kill. And the boys get it out. 5 seconds. 5 seconds left here. And we're at full strength. Great kill by Troy Stetcher and the boys. Rally behind that. Rally behind that. Get the boys going. Let's go. Big penalty kill, man. First line's out there. Nope. Second line, excuse me. It's Cowan, Robertson, Tavares out there. Caps still have the puck in the Leaf zone. Yeah, Tom Brady is Tom Brady is greatness. Sidney Crosby is greatness. These guys hold themselves to a higher standard than everyone else. Looks like there's going to be no scoring here in the second period here. Got 45 seconds left. Another save by Hill. The shots are now 20-12. Leafs, the season low for shots was against the Kings, and it's 15. The Leafs have 12, so they need at least 3 shots in the third. See what they do in this third period. Yeah, no, second periods have been, man, this team, and the second period used to be unbelievable for this team, and not the case. Not the case anymore. We got 10 seconds left here. Corey, I'm not ready to say tank yet because this team could do what they did last game, and then we all look stupid again going to work the next morning. That is it for the second period. Well, I guess, I don't know. Did anyone actually feel good about that win the other night? Like when you woke up Wednesday morning where you're like, yes, the Leafs, huge comeback win. Woohoo! I feel so good about this team. I don't think so. And that was close to being 3-0. Could be like a couple big saves for Hill to be tonight. He's kind of fishing around his net there, but still a chance. It's true. Tough one. Tough one here so far for these boys. No goals in the second period. Shots are 20-12 for the Washington Capitals. They got 2 pretty cheap ones in terms of, they were kind of weird goals in the first period, but no scoring in that second. 2-0 Capitals. And very interesting stuff. We talked about a couple updates this morning, Nick and I, in terms of what's happening with the Leafs, and there's been a lot of talk about Michelli and what's happening. There's been, some trades as well in terms of trade chatter. Obviously, Michelli, there's been some talk about Max Domi, who's now on the fourth line. What happens there? There's been a lot of talk, is my point, around Leafs Nation right now. So I'll leave you guys with the Leafs making some interesting moves today. Marshall Rafai coming back from injury, but in a very interesting way, and we give our thoughts on that. And not only that, Michelli. What's happening with Michelli? I think that's a big thing. So I'm going to take a little break here. We'll be back for the third period, guys, but I'll leave you with this. There's multiple updates for the Leafs in terms of some roster moves they've made, and something very interesting regarding Michelli and Marshall Rafai as well, which is a name we haven't heard since preseason when he broke his hand. But yeah, Domi, let me know what you think about Domi in the chat too, because that's an interesting one. He's playing on the fourth line now. I don't know if he has a spot on this team. Let me know what you think, but I'll be back in a few.
Here's the big news to go over today. The Toronto Maple Leafs have made multiple moves and ahead of a big game this evening. They not only made some big lineup changes, but one move in particular that has big implications going forward and has fans very encouraged to break that down, as well as a ton of other things on this episode, folks. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot to go over today, and obviously we're at a point now in the season where the deadline is slowly inching closer and closer, and the Leafs, ahead of a game tonight, they are continuing to shuffle the lineup, so they haven't found a thing that works or a lineup rather that works quite yet. But I want to start, before diving into lineup changes, about a player that we haven't discussed about too much on this channel, and it is Marshall Rafai, because he has been injured all of this year, but he has officially been assigned to the Toronto Marlies on a conditioning loan as he prepares now to return to what potentially could be the NHL team here. So this one is interesting. And again, in case you missed it, this is the conditioning stint in the final recovery phase of his wrist injury, which required wrist surgery. And this is a player that, for a team that needs defensive depth at this point, they will very much so welcome Marshall Rafai back in some capacity once he finishes his conditioning loan with the Marlies.
Yeah, and it's been a pretty brutal recovery for Marshall Rafai. He broke his hand in the preseason, and he obviously has been skating for a while at this point. But being sent back down to the Marlies on a conditioning stint, he's going to come right back up after this conditioning stint. He's going to be with the NHL club. They're going to have him because of the injuries that they have in the lineup. They trust him. I'm a big fan of Marshall Rafai, like what he did last year, and ever since he's come to the organization, anytime he was called upon, like he looks solid, he looks steady. He's 6'2". This is exactly what they need in the lineup. Just somebody who can, be mobile, but is also big, plays with that kind of edge as well. So they're going to get him back into the lineup. I think he'll be back with the Leafs. This also has salary cap implications, so we have to, consider that and the fact that there is a bunch of guys out with injury still, and they'll be coming back at some point. And Stolars and obviously Chris Tanev, like what's happening there. Chris Tanev is actually traveling with the team on this trip, but he's not playing tonight, so that's pretty interesting and something to keep in mind. So we'll see what happens with that. But I imagine after this conditioning stint, he will be back with the team and he'll probably be in the lineup. They trust him a lot, and I think he's a pretty good young player too. So we'll see what he does on this conditioning stint, but I think it's headed towards that direction.
Yeah, we'll dive into who's going to replace him like that. He is 27 years old, $775,000 towards the cap hit, which, as you look at things, there's going to have to be some maneuvering around here. But again, he's been out since the preseason. I think he went down similar time to Scott Lawton as well, and then of course they kind of got mashed together, so people weren't really talking about it. For a team that, again, acquired Troy Setcher, they seem to be in the market at the trade deadline for a defenseman, whether that be Rasmus Anderson or others. This will be a Band-Aid or potentially an actual good, fit in the meantime here. But let's dive into some of the things from the morning skate today, because it all kind of lends together here. So just before it begins, Craig Berube engaged in a long chat with Matias Maccelli, who hasn't been, which is crazy now, he hasn't been in the lineup the entire month of December. We're now almost 3 weeks into it. And a couple notes here. Dennis Hildeby, he is starting tonight against Washington, which I love the idea of that. But Darius, let's just not waste more time here rather, and dive into some of the changes, because there are a few, and one obviously major one here. So you can see it's Knies, Matthews, Nylander, Robertson, Tavares, Cowan. So a much different second line. Joshua Waugh, McMahon, Lorentz, Lawton, Domi, with Maccelli once again on the outside looking in, which maybe this was a conversation about him potentially getting the lineup in the next game. Whatever it ends up being, he's out once again, and we'll dive into the blue line here shortly, with those extras being Tanev and Myers, and of course with Rafai on the outside looking in, we'll dive into that. But Cowan now on the second line with Robertson and Tavares, a bit of a veteran leadership with youth surrounded, in between Tavares there, quite notable, and they continue to shuffle things. Even though they won yesterday's game, Berube usually doesn't change things after a win, but it wasn't the most convincing win in the world, of course.
No, it wasn't. And we talked about it yesterday. And that's what that conversation was exactly to a T, because they came out and said, after morning skate, that Berube said, first of all, I love the idea of Hildeby starting because you have a busy schedule coming up. So you don't want to run Joseph Woll right into the ground as soon as he came back from injury. But that's exactly what that conversation was. Maccelli is going to get into the lineup one game this weekend for sure. And they have a back-to-back. They're playing Nashville and Dallas on Saturday and Sunday. So I do wonder if he gets into the lineup against his future team in the Nashville Predators, like we've been talking about on the channel, on Saturday. And I do think that this conversation was basically, hey, we're going to have to use you for one game this weekend. We have a back-to-back. These are the things we need out of you. If we see this, maybe you stay in the lineup, right? Because there's a couple guys like Domi that hasn't really been offering too much. Now he's on the fourth line. Cowan's up on the second line. That third line you don't want to touch because McMahon's been awesome with Waugh and Dakota Joshua on the left side there. They've been awesome together, so you don't want to mess with that. So now Domi goes back to the fourth line. So I wonder if this is an opportunity coming up here this weekend where they're sitting Maccelli down. They're going, listen, we need X, Y, and Z out of you. You are going to get back into the lineup. And Berube did say he wants to get him back in the lineup one of these games coming up here because he hasn't played in almost a month at this point. We're getting into that territory with Christmas around the corner. He hasn't played since November 28th. So he wants to get him back into the lineup. I imagine it's one game this week, and I imagine it's against Nashville. And if he does execute on the things they're asking him to do, I think Max Domi could be in trouble in terms of, he could be the next man out with being a healthy scratch. So very interesting stuff there. Rafai's coming back to at some point, probably after Christmas. So some things to look forward to there. But, busier schedule coming up before the end of, or the break here before Christmas.
Yeah, and obviously in the blue line, if Marshall Rafai, they want to get him in, you can replace him with Benoit. You can replace him with Henry Thrun. Either of those two guys at this point, I don't think many people would be too upset. And again, you mentioned it, Tanev did travel with the team, so will he be playing? We don't really know quite yet, but we'll keep you up to date on that. Their power play units remain pretty similar. They're kind of juggling between Riley and OEL these days. And something else I want to discuss, and you mentioned it as well, is Craig Berube kind of, speaking about just the way that he's been mixing up his lines. And he says, and this is about multiple different guys, most importantly, It's about Rafai in this case. He says he's always in the mix since I've been here. He's a guy that can give you games and be ready to play. And this is about Marshall Rafai, to clarify. A guy like him, he gets in there and plays some games and gains confidence. And he's got a lot of ability. He can skate. Essentially, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Craig Berube praised him a lot. And this is something that coaches usually do in preparation, at least for a player to return and actually get minutes in the lineup. So obviously the injuries happen, things like that. They haven't had a blue line that's ran away with it by any means. Guys like even Benoit's had a down year. Henry Thron, he's been serviceable since he came back up. The only guy who has run with it is Troy Stetcher, out of the guys who are on the fringe and the outside looking in. We could see a world where it's something like, I'm not saying the direct mix and matches this way, but Riley O'Eil, McCabe Stetcher, and then you could have Tanev and Marshall Rafai in there, and they could of course move around Rafai and Benoit, Rafai and Thron. But at the end of the day here, it's clear from his comments that Marshall Rafai is going to get in at some capacity once he comes back. And maybe Chris Tanev returning changes things in that and throws a little bit of a wrench in there. But it's good to know that Berube thinks very highly of Marshall Rafai as well, because a lot of people do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think to me, it's probably Thrun that's being sent back to the Marlies. Although I think Rafai would have to show something in this conditioning stint that he is ready to go right away into the NHL. So I do think that there is a world where through the next couple of games, on his conditioning stint, you go, okay, maybe he does need a little bit more time in the AHL. But I think that he's ready to go. He's been skating with this group. He's been skating for a while, morning skate, stuff like that on his own. I think that he's just going down there to get in-game action and then back up to the NHL level. Because again, they just trust him a lot. And you can see that quote from Berube as well. He does a lot of really good things. So Thron is a little bit younger. I imagine he goes down. He's going to be like a number one, the power play guy. I watched a game a couple of weeks ago where he was on the power play quarterbacking. He was playing a ton of minutes. He was the number one guy. So just being in that opportunity and then, being able to bring that to the Leafs in the future, I think is a big thing for him now. So I think Rafai gets back into the lineup. But yeah, a lot of interesting moves coming up, I think, this weekend. Michelli's probably going to get into one game. Tanev could return on this road trip. That'll be interesting to keep in mind because he did travel with the team. He's skating in a regular jersey now. We'll see what happens with that. But lots going on and a big game tonight. You need to pick up another big 2 points. And the last time they were in Washington, absolute stinker where they were up 2-0 and ended up losing 4-2 and stopped playing after they scored that second goal. So big 2 points here. We'll see what the power play can do because it's been horrible besides Austin Matthews' goal last game. It's a big one. They need another 2 points.
Yeah, let's know your thoughts on this. And if you're encouraged about Marshall Rafai nearing a return, thank you guys for watching. See you later. This has Leafs fans split as following what was a very wild game yesterday. We have some new updates and things to go over today, but not only that, one thing in particular that has fans completely fed up in what has been a disappointing season overall. People are really starting to speak out about one particular issue and write down exactly what that is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a ton of other things on this episode, including an Anthony Stolarz update you're going to want to stay tuned until the end for. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is a place to be for daily Leafs content. And Darius, of course, we had a video earlier this morning on a trade, and the Leafs are coming off of a game yesterday in which they didn't deserve to win, but they did win. But that doesn't change the underlying storylines here heading into the next game and also what this season has been thus far. And that is Craig Berube and Austin Matthews. And there were calls for Berube to be fired after the first period and second period last game, all these different things. But we want to dive into it today to also bring your guys or ask your guys' thoughts down below. And it all stemmed from, of course, not only his goal where he put his ear to the crowd, but for me, it's more so the way that he's been playing all year, the Berube, situation. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are, Darius, but this got a ton of reaction. You can see here, people are ripping him for this, but I want more of it. The worst version of these Leafs are the apathetic ones. They deserve the boos, all these different things. Matthews came out after the game and said the boo birds are coming down. I think after that first goal, the crowd really got into it, which is great. The storyline here is Matthews has had a very big fall off this year. Berube clearly, I thought yesterday had lost the locker room a little bit, even though they came out and won. I'm not sure that exactly changes, and fans are a little bit fed up with the way the Leafs are responding to Berube, the way that Berube is maybe unable to convey the message. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, in a vacuum, and I think if you just look at the game, a comeback like that, most fans would be like, wow, okay, you were down 2-0, you came back, you tied the game, and you won the game in regulation. That is electric. But I don't think Leaf fans can look at things like that anymore. And I think, for all of you watching this video, did you wake up this morning super jacked about the Leafs winning that game last night? I don't think so. Like, that feeling just isn't available, I think, where you could, if it was any other team, their fan base might be like, that was an electric comeback win. Yes, we did play like garbage, but man, we came out with the 2 points. But I just don't think that feeling is available for Leaf fans this morning. Now, on the Austin Matthews thing, I was streaming the game and I was saying, how poor this guy was playing for 2 periods. Not just him, but the entire team. And it wasn't just this game. Also, last Saturday against the Edmonton Oilers and a couple games before that, this season hasn't been going well. But he came up and he kind of shut everyone up in the third period. He was moving a lot better. He was skating well. And he got 2 points, and the Leafs ended up winning. So that's a bit of a statement there from the captain, I think. And him putting his hand up to the crowd to kind of let me let's hear it now. Let's hear the boos, right? I kind of like this. I do kind of like this. He's done this before, by the way, like this celebration multiple times. So let's not blow this out of proportion. I like this stuff. A lot of people were on the side, and you could see some of the tweets. Like this has Leaf fans split. A lot of people were like, I don't like it because he's saying, we're booing you for a reason, right? And now you're telling us to let you hear it, right? But there's people on the other side of it, like myself, who kind of like it. And it was like, all right, let's get fired up now. We have an opportunity to go out and win this game. Let's get fired up. So for that moment, that's Selly. I don't mind it. I think it's good in that moment. You get the crowd fired up. Let me hear you now instead of the boos. Let's hear some cheers. The building was absolutely rocking. All the players were saying it was the loudest after the third goal that they've heard it in a long time. So, for that, I think it was good. I liked it. I think that at least he was showing some emotion, right? So that was fun. And I think for that game in that moment, he did kind of shut everyone up. But I have to say, Nick, and I think this is why most people are split, because I'm still feeling it too. You can't be that fired up about that win because we know that this team, I just don't know if they have it. What happened the other 55 minutes before that?
Yeah, and the big question mark is you can see Berube here. I mean, he was obviously, and they had one shot through 12.5 minutes. At the end of the day, let us know down below what your thoughts are. I don't care about the celebration. I'm fine with him doing it. He needs to play better, though, overall. Berube needs to get a hold of the locker room, and if they don't, if they play like they did yesterday for the rest of the way, or even a semblance of that, they're going to miss the playoffs by a hefty margin. Now, yes, they did win the game, and maybe Berube had some crazy, or someone had some crazy speech in between the second and third period, but it has to be better there. So let us know down below what your thoughts are, because some fans are fed up with the way they've been playing. Some fans are a little bit optimistic after yesterday's win. It's a very interesting scenario. But speaking of fed up, Darius, we had an update on Anthony Stolarz. It kind of went under the radar here. And Craig Berube says that he is heading to another specialist, or rather heading to see another specialist, while confirming the injury is not concussion related. He's not making the progress that we thought he would make. So yet again, another injury where at the time they said it was day to day, and that didn't seem like a big deal. He's going to be out for a while now. The good news is we have a good
Hi everyone, we're back. I had some technical difficulties there, but we are back, and there's about 16 minutes left in the third here. Sorry about that. That's never happened live on stream, but we are back. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Should be all good, I believe. Fortunately, these things happen sometimes, but should be back and live now. Thank you everyone who's stuck around here. But we're gonna finish this out. We're gonna see this through. Hopefully the Leafs can get at least a goal here, and would be nice. Getting outplayed in their own end to begin the third. Over 2 minutes in possession time by Washington. Over a minute. As I say, another one bites the dust. Wow, what a shot by Chychrun. I guess I'm a second behind there. 3-0 bar down shot by Jacob Chychrun. Yep, looks like this one's probably done, guys. You're not doing it 2 games in a row. I believe this one might be finished. This one could be cooked. It's looking cooked. It's headed that way. Tough. Joshua, yeah, I would be surprised if Carlo and Stolarz don't end up on LTIR at this point. "13 shots for the Leafs." The Leafs are going back to the power play. Woo! Yeah, power play. Nothing's gonna happen again. Woo! Nothing's happening here again. Back to the power play. Woo! Woo! Leafs to the power play. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Let's go. Woo! Who's starting here on the power play, huh? Who's starting? Is it the first unit? I'm almost checked out for the night, guys. The second unit is starting the power play. The second unit. 5 power plays on the night for the Leafs. The second unit has started 2 of them. And they look way better. They look way more dangerous than the first unit. Top guys are sitting. Good. Message sent. Oh, that came out. Offside. Shoot. Shoot. No, Leafs are on the power play here. Oh, Corey, I understand. Sorry, that didn't translate through through text. Yeah, Mark, I agree. It's also a unreal shot by Chikrin there, bar down. I mean, unreal shot. Okay, so first unit comes back out now. I mean, what are you supposed to do at 20 seconds, man? First unit's back out. Of course, Berube looks disappointed. This is a man that knows he's going to be unemployed by the end of the year. Okay, Matthews is playing a little bit harder now. Over to Nylander. He bobbles it, and it goes to the distance of the ice. This team is so frustrating to watch this year. This is crazy. Offside at the line. They can't even get in the zone. They can't even get in the zone. These are supposed to be your best players. Oh my God. Second unit's back on. I mean, they're just playing musical chairs. Yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. You lose to Nashville, things are very interesting. Oh, tip in front. Nice keep in by OEL to Cowan. Cowan shoots. Nice shot. Nice save by Logan Thompson. Connor McMichael's away. He's 1-on-2. At least going back the other way. On a scale of 1 to 10 right now, I would say probably 2. Like today. But we'll talk after this weekend. We'll see what happens and what they do this weekend. But I would say right now probably 2. Big block by the Washington player. Out to Cowan on the far circle. That's blocked by Sandin. Big hit by Waugh, but nothing there. And we are back to even strength. Protas is going to beat out the icing here, but Hildeby's playing it anyway. Oh, he kind of stumbles over it. You also could hear the Caps bench going crazy there on those blocks. And I mean, the Leafs bench is just quiet. Just quiet. Here we go. Modified fourth line going to work. McMahon keeps trying to drive the net. Some of the Leafs, the way they play, like I feel like it's like their first year playing hockey, some of them. Like, McCabe is now on the forecheck. This is where we're at this point. Tavares looks like he's on the third line. Or no, it's just a weird mix of... I think the blender's out. I think that's where we're at here. The blender is out. That's what it is. Now he's going to work here, but... Capitals almost scored again. And they're just playing with their food in the offensive zone right now. Should I watch along a different game right now? You guys want me to do that instead? Would that be fun? Heather, the Capitals are a National Hockey League team that plays in Washington, D.C., and they're currently beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0. $11:16 left here in the third period. 3-0 Capitals. And this looks like it's very much over. Headed to a commercial break here. Is a trade gonna shake things up? What do you guys think? I doubt it. I doubt it. It's not going well. Hey, this new movie with Timothy Chalamet looks good, huh? Maybe we should all go watch that instead of the Leafs game. This is horrific, man. Yeah, Joshua, I wish it was that easy, too. Like, there's no movement clauses involved now. There's... Even Riley, man. If he didn't have that no movement clause, like, he would be gone. He would be gone. Craig Simpson says this is a great opportunity tonight for the Leafs to build off some positive momentum to, I mean, this is not verbatim, but to, you know, you have a couple games away from home here and you have a couple games this weekend to get back on track. Yeah, that's one way to look at it, man. That is one way to look at it. Bench looks dead. How have they not, like... Whoa, is Berube trying to, like... Oh, man, did that go in? Yeah, it did. Yep. Four nothing. Yeah, I don't know if this team's this team I mean this game got away from them already, but like this team looks like they're looking for a coach to get fired, I think. It's certainly looking that way to me now. Like I think we're getting there. Usually I try to stay optimistic, but I don't know if Matthews is hurt or if it's a coaching and systems issue. I don't know. Ah. Not Hildeby's fault. Not Hildeby's fault. Well, I'm going to finish out the last 10 minutes here with you guys anyway. I'm not going to go 2-on-1 for the Leafs here. Tavares and... The body language is so bad. Thompson makes the save. The body language is so bad. Tavares and Nyes on a 2-on-1. Tavares puts it over to Nyes and he bobbles it, and he just the body language is awful. Look at this. The pass goes over to Nyes and it's bobbled, and look at like he's on it right away, but still maybe I saw that a little bit differently actually at first glance. It wasn't as bad. I take that back a little bit, but of course they bobble it. Yeah, they do have to change the players. We've had the same group of players forever. I think we're all over it at this point. Has the message run dry? Has Berube lost the room? Has Berube lost the room, folks? It's going to be the question tomorrow morning. Yeah, they've had multiple coaches. The only thing that hasn't changed, they changed the bottom six. You know, it used to be small, skilled guys, fast guys. Now it's the big, heavy guys. What's been the constant, guys? It's the mentality of the team. Where does that come from? It's your top players. Just talking ourselves in circles here, man. There's something like the players got to change, or you change the players. The players got to change, or you change the players. Do we think the players will ever change at this point? Doubtful. The Atlantic Division. Riley at -3 tonight. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Just get us out of these last 8 minutes, man. Ooh, Robertson with a nice chance. Tavares almost puts in the rebound. See, like, there's a couple guys on this team that keep playing. Like, Tavares never really, like, gives up to me, man. I feel the worst for a guy like Tavares. Took less to stay here to try and win a Stanley Cup, and not looking good. Protus with a hot shot wide. We're down to the final 8, guys. Hopefully there's just very minimal whistles so we can get out of here. Yeah, Jeremy, that's a great point. I've said that before in videos too. I'm like, you can't not show up to work or show up to work late or not do your job because you don't like somebody there or you're over your boss. You know, you're like, I don't like what he says, so I'm just not gonna do anything. And I certainly don't make 13 or 11 or 10 or 9 or any millions of dollars to do those things. Cowan's now up with Nylander and Matthews. Yeah, Tavares to me always tries hard, man. Like this is like actually sad. McCabe's still skating a little bit. Chikrin on hat-trick watch. Montreal's up right now. Ottawa's winning. Tampa is losing. Domi was trying to pass a lot, and McCabe got in the way. In front of the net. This is one that you, like... So the team is trash, and they're coaching toddlers, but the answer is to fire the GM and the coach. Am I getting that right? That's the answer? This is a tough night. This is the type of loss that you get on the plane after, and you're like, you should not feel good about this one. Like, the result in Nashville should be a direct response to this garbage. Jeremy, they could hire a garden gnome to be their head coach, and they would tune that thing out at this point. It's so obvious. We can all see it, man. We've been watching these same guys for like 10 years. Tough. It's tough. There's going to be some changes coming. I just don't think they're imminent. They're not coming Christmas break. There's no... The NHL trade freeze or roster freeze starts tomorrow as well, so you can't even make moves starting tomorrow. Even though there's games next week. It's odd, but... Speaking of games next week... I'll be live on Tuesday for a 4 o'clock start Eastern. They play at home against, I believe, the Winnipeg Jets, the Leafs, next week on Tuesday. So I'll be live for that one. We won't have any content in terms of live streams this Saturday, but we will have a video for you guys that morning. But no live content this Saturday, but we'll be back with maybe something Sunday, actually. We'll see what happens Sunday. Certainly a video on Sunday and Monday, but Tuesday I'll be live doing a watch along for this. Horrible. Mid, average, trash group of 23 guys. Puck is down on hopefully the last stretch of gameplay for this game. It's 4-0 Capital. Shots are 26-21. Leafs have caught up in the last couple of minutes, but I mean, too little, too late. What are we even doing, right? So, yeah, Prophet, the division is still right there. I mean, that goes for a lot of teams in the East. The East is like, it's weird, man. Like, you have a good week. Yeah, if you're in like close to last place, you have a good week, you're in the playoffs. It's a weird year. I don't know what it is, but there isn't that much of a gap, really, man. They're still definitely in the mix, which is the most frustrating part. And that's why a lot of teams aren't selling yet either. Gotta pick up. Saturday is a must win. Berube going into Saturday is like, oh boy, did he just ice that? Wow. Yeah, Nice and JT together do work well. I don't want to tank. Tanking is not the answer here. Well, tanking could be the answer as long as it's not a top 5 pick. But then it's like, you want a top 10 pick? I guess. Like, it is considered a stronger-ish draft, I guess. But you're going to feel excited with that top 10 pick coming into next year? Woohoo! Yes, we got the 10th overall pick, and he's a guy that's maybe a year away, 2 years away. Woo! I don't know if anyone in the outside of the top 3 in this draft is ready right away. Yeah, I struggle with that too, Green. On paper, they should be a good team, but it's not happening, right? It's like a mentality thing, and I think that maybe they just tuned out Berube at this point. He won the division last year. Logan Thompson's looking for the shutout, guys. Shutout, 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 shutout. He's looking for the shutout. Has anyone seen the shutout? He's looking for it. Shutout. You won't be able to make trades starting tomorrow. So tomorrow starts the NHL holiday roster freeze. And I believe it ends... I believe it's right after New Year's. No, sorry, before New Year's. What am I talking about? It's 27th or 28th it opens back up, I believe. After Christmas, after Boxing Day. Is it Pittsburgh next Tuesday? I thought it was the Jets. Sorry, that might have been last year, Leafs schedule. Let's find out here. They got the Stars on Sunday, and then they got, you're right, the Penguins 4 o'clock at home. Sorry, it's the Penguins. So I will be streaming the Leafs and the Penguins. The last time I streamed the Leafs and the Penguins, the Leafs had a great comeback win. So I never liked Brad. He screwed up Calgary. Again, I think this narrative about Bradshaw living in Calgary is blown right out of proportion. The owner told him what to do. Like, Brad didn't want to bring in Sutter. Brad did not want to bring in Sutter. And I thought Calgary won that trade, that Kachuk trade at the time. I have to be honest. I thought they did. But, you know, you put a player like Huberdeau in a different situation. The coach is not the right coach for that situation, not the right coach for that player. You obviously run into problems like that. So, Gerard, I don't think that's true either, though. And the reason I'll push back on that comment is because a lot of people, there's that narrative where players come here, make all their money, and then there's the other narrative that guys don't want to come to Toronto or they'd rather sign in Florida because they don't get taxed. So, like, which one is it, right? We keep talking ourselves in circles. They want to come here. They want to make all this money. The no trade clauses, which could be true a little bit in that regard. But then the narrative is big market teams can't sign, not big market teams, but like high taxed states or provinces can't sign certain players because they'd rather go play in Florida because they don't get taxed. But players want to come here and make their money and coast. I don't know which one it is. I don't know what it is. What I think actually ends up happening this season is at some point, Berube does get fired. Because I think MLS is looking at this like this team can't miss the playoffs. So I think at some point. But I just don't think it's... Things can change very quickly in the NHL. I don't think it's anytime soon. I don't get the sense that they want to do that anytime soon. But things can change very quickly. You lose both games this weekend, like... Feelings change. The one thing is, like, if you fire the coach, the new guy, like the new systems you're going to implement, like you would probably have to get rid of the assistant coaches too, right? It's going to take time to implement those systems, although the team could play a little bit more free flowing. And that might help for a time, but yeah, Corey, but that's every I would like this team in the playoffs. Yeah, I would like them to make the playoffs. I would like to see what they have. I don't think missing and getting like a top 15 pick or whatever. Oh, off the post again. I don't think getting like a top 15 pick or whatever, like the 14th overall or whatever, is like going to do that much for this team. Like they'll end up with like a 22nd pick or 23rd or something like that anyway. Actually, what am I talking about? They don't have a first round pick. What am I talking about? The only way they would have a first round pick is if they were so bad they would be top 5. I completely forgot about that. They don't even have a first round pick. I don't think they'd fall into the bottom 5. I don't. I don't see any trades happening tonight. I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely not the Leafs. I don't think that's happening. I don't think so. I don't know if Boudreaux's coming. Boudreaux, sorry. Oh, nice save, Hildeby. 2 minutes left here. Brad, actually, I was listening to a podcast with Brad Living recently, and he used to play, and he worked his way up through hockey. So it's not just his dad owns Boston Pizza or anything like that. Like, this team just doesn't have it. I don't know if they've ever had it. Like, really, like, of course, the regular season, all that stuff for sure. But I don't know, man. I think it's the players. I think it's the players, and I think right now these players are trying to get a coach fired. So new guy can come in and be like, all right, guys, we'll, let's do more things like that you want to do. Chakro, so you'd rather, let me get this straight, you'd rather finish like 10th? Like with a top, like a 10th pick and give it to Boston? You'd rather that? I think that sounds like a great idea. The Leafs have to finish top 5 to get their pick this year. I don't see that happening. They're trying to make the playoffs. And it's unfortunately the players that is the problem. I have no interest in giving Boston a top pick. Depends on these injuries too. You get Carlo back, things are a little bit different. I think Marner in the room was probably... Marner was a big, like, events guy. Like, he would be the team planner and stuff. So I feel like that, like, definitely has an effect because somebody else has to do that. And, Chris Paul came out yesterday. There was a thing about Chris Paul, how, he signed with the Clippers and he wanted to create, like, a, some culture. And he, like, invited some guys out to a game and, like, to his house and nobody showed up. And, like, he was like, okay, well, you're not going to build any culture here doing that garbage. So I wonder if that's happening a little bit to the team right now. But then they release like the blueprint. You watch the blueprint, a couple guys are going out for dinner together and stuff like that. And you see the Panthers are all going out to dinner together. And you don't have to go out to dinner all the time together as an entire team, but some of these guys, they get together, they go out for dinner. So I don't know. Still looks like things are getting planned, but 20 seconds left here. Looks like Thompson's going to get the shutout here. 7 seconds here. Got a Logan Thompson shutout. No goals for the Leafs tonight. Not a single goal. Yep. Shakro, my point is, if you tank and then you end up with the 7th pick, it goes to Boston. So then what? Awesome. So glad that we decided to tank. Woohoo! I don't know what that does besides give you a better 2nd round pick. And then what are you going to do with that? Although they have better scouting staff now, I will say that. Not a good game. No goals scored. System kind of stinks still if if they don't score any goals. So that huge game on Saturday. Huge game on Saturday in Nashville. This will determine a couple things, I think. I do really wonder what comes out tomorrow morning now about this game, because there's gonna be something. So yeah, nothing's happening here. I would be shocked if anything happens with the Leafs in terms of management, coaching, player moves. Well, they can't now at this point, but anything happens before the holidays, like before Christmas, there's no way anything happens. So that is not happening. There's also a roster freeze tomorrow. That's the main reason, but I don't think coach is getting fired, nothing like that. So But this team is not playing well. So, Maple Leafs... Wow. So, through 40 minutes, the Leafs stacked top line of Nyes, Matthews, and Nylander, which was broken up in the third period, were outshot 7-0 5-on-5. 7-0. Tristan Jarry was injured tonight for the Oilers, so that's a bit of a disaster for them over there. Very interested to see what type of quotes come out tonight. Yeah, Corey, that's what it was. I was mistaken earlier. It's been a long day, but essentially, if the Leafs were to finish top 5 in the draft lottery, they would keep their pick. If not, it would go to Boston, even if it's the 6th pick. Yeah, but Shakro, I live in a logical frame of mind right now with some of this stuff where it's like you can't trade Riley, you can't trade Nylander, you can't trade Matthews. What do? I don't think you trade Tavares because of the contract he's on. So, what do you do? Because if no one had a no movement clause, I'm starting with Riley. If no one had a no movement clause, Riley would be gone already. Rasmus Anderson would be here. Riley would be gone already. But people are not happy on Twitter.com about this Leafs loss. People are not happy. Yeah, Jeremy, I was talking about this on my last stream. I'll leave you guys with this before I wrap up, because I said it on the last stream too. But I'll leave you guys with all of this. The Chicago Blackhawks, many, many moons ago, they had a core 4 themselves, maybe core 5 of players. And they're all on pretty good contracts, right? And of course, the salary cap is at a different place and all that. They went out and they won 3 Stanley Cups. 3 Stanley Cups in 6 seasons. And after that, the Chicago Blackhawks said, because the contracts were expiring of Taves and Kane, for example, and even Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook as well. No, but they have a no movement clause. You can't do a New York Rangers and threaten to put guys on waivers. You can't do that like a Jacob Trouba thing. They have a no movement clause. So you can scratch guys, or I don't know, you can do that, but are they going to feel pressured to... You gave all the power to the players, and it wasn't this regime. That's the other thing we have to keep in mind. It was the last guy. But anyway, with some of these contracts. Anyway, those contracts were expiring, and the Blackhawks said, thank you so much for winning us Stanley Cups. What do you want? You want double digits? You want 10 million in a league where nobody was making 10 million? Sure. Take 10 million. No problem. Thank you for the Stanley Cups. Here are your new contracts. Bang. Both of them get $10 million contracts. And then they didn't win Stanley Cups after that, but it was fine because it was thanks for 3 cups in 6 years. Awesome. You guys did your work. The Leafs went it the opposite way with Shanahan. I think Lamoriello might have been gone at the time. I think it was already Dubas with the contract negotiations, where they said, we want to win Stanley Cups. Please bring us Stanley Cups. We're going to pay you up front. We're going to give you everything you want. We're going to give you the best treatment. We're going to pamper you, all of this stuff. Please, please, please go win us a Stanley Cup. Thank you. Please, you promise? Promise you're going to win us a Stanley Cup? And they said, yep, no problem. Give me 11 million. Please, thank you. And then they gave all of them 11 million. Nylander was a different situation. He was on 6 point something. And they gave them all that money, and then they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Can't do anything. So you gave all the power, and it was the last regime, to the players. They still own that power. And now we're sitting here with, and I'm telling you, Treliving, everyone's calling for Treliving's head and stuff like that. Treliving, if he could have, with no movement clauses, Riley would not be a Maple Leaf. I'm telling you, from everything we've heard, Rasmus Anderson would be here first of all, and Riley, I don't know where he would go, but he would not be here. I'm telling you that. But it's not the case. They gave him all no movement clauses. And that's what it is. So you can't make any changes like that. Mitch Marner should have been traded 2 years ago, where you could have got a huge package for him, and you would have been in a better spot. But instead, what happened? You decided to ride it out with the same group of players that you knew couldn't get it done since 2021. That's when I found out. That Hab series, that's when I found out this group didn't have it. Right? Columbus, I was like, you're in the bubble. The Caps checked out too. There was a whole thing about them like not even taking the game seriously, and they were like hanging out in the hotel. And then the next season I found out 2021 this team didn't have it. You doubled down on that. Marner should have been traded 2 years ago. You get a big package. Now you got Nick Waugh for him, right? Like this is the situation this team put themselves in, and a lot of it does come back to Shanny at the end of the day. And we're still sitting in the mess, the mess of it. But I don't think any moves are coming imminently. I don't think they're coming in terms of tomorrow or the next day, probably right after the Christmas break. And I don't think the coach is getting fired anytime soon because MLSE will not have that. Now, when I say anytime soon, I would say like 2-3 weeks. But I do see changes coming for sure. Like, there's no way they're going to sit on their hands with this. There's a trade is coming at some point. This group doesn't have it. But again, that's it. Yeah, 2021, I found out everything I needed to know about this group. The top guys, because that was the first time. Again, 2020, I don't care about that series. Whatever. Again, the whole bubble thing, I don't care about that. So many teams were checked out. 2021 is when I found out, because now it was like Kyle Dubas's team. The leadership group had changed because now it was Tavares was the captain, Bozak was gone, JVR was gone. The team is now the young guys team. 2021 is when you found out this group doesn't have it. Then they did it again the next year. They did it again the next year, even though they won a round. You found out they stink. And they lose in the same ways. They should have traded Marner that offseason. You would have had more assets for him. You could have started building up this team, but now we're left with this garbage. So that's what it is. We know that this the top, top players don't have it. That's what it is. Hey, Angela, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Going on a bit of a rant about the Leafs here, but that's what it is. We'll have some more content for you guys. Yeah. Darius, do understand you are not blaming. However, it is a results-oriented business. The fact is Calgary and Toronto under both teams are not a playoff team. Well, we can't say that yet because the season's not done. And I have to say that I have liked a lot of Treliving's moves so far with the Leafs. I have. Is Berube the right coach for this group? Maybe we're finding out that he's not this season, or maybe he's lost the room. We don't know exactly, but it's garbage. And you guys have to understand, go back and listen to some of the stuff about what happened in Calgary. Brad Treliving left. He was not fired. He left because he had no control over what he was doing. He was literally just a pawn to take hits when the team wasn't doing well. The owner was telling him everything to do. He did not want to hire Sutter as the coach. Everything that happened in Calgary, he was pinned into a corner with the Tkachuk trade as well. Management didn't let him do anything. He left. He wasn't fired. He said, get me out of here because I'm just the whipping guy here. So that's what happened in Calgary. And at the time, everyone said Calgary won that trade. The vast majority of people said Calgary won that trade, and Tkachuk completely transformed what the Florida Panthers were. Nobody saw it happening at the time. Maybe some people did. I think some people saw that happen. But yeah, we'll see what the Leafs end up doing. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year. That was a horrible effort again, which is crazy to say because it was actually a better, I think, overall effort, at least in the first period, than the first game. When do you think Berube will be fired if he were to be fired? It's going to be probably, like, if things get bad enough. This is the problem, Prophet. I do believe there's a problem here, but they're, like, you said it a couple minutes ago. They're still in the mix. They're right there, which I'm not defending the team for that, but I'm saying if you look at the standings, they're still there. So that's the justification for not making a move. Oh, if only, if we were to win 3 games in a row, which I don't even know if they've done all season. If we were to win 3 games in a row, we're right there. We're right there. I don't even think it's a Berube issue, but he might get canned, and you know, the new guy comes in, they might actually play better, and then everyone's like, yeah, Berube was a problem. I don't know, man. But maybe they need a new coach. Maybe that's it. Michael, that's fair. Results-oriented business, you're right, absolutely. The Leafs are not currently in a playoff spot, but the Leafs under Brett Treliving won the division last year. So I don't know. I can't make sense of it either, right? They won the division. They won a round. Now they're on the outside looking in. It's only December at the end of the day. So I do at the end of the day think that Treliving would probably outlast Berube at this point. But we will see what happens the rest of the way. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year. Anyways, we'll have some more content for you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Leafs didn't even score a goal tonight. We'll see what they end up doing. We'll see what Berube says after the game. See some of the quotes. Hopefully some guys take accountability. You didn't score a goal tonight. I mean, that's just awful. So yeah, we'll see. Shakro, appreciate you tuning in tonight. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can tune into the rest of the content. We'll be live Tuesday for sure. See if we'll do some stuff this weekend. I think Treliving is definitely on a hot seat, less than Berube at this point, because Berube is getting less out of the group. And if Matthews is 100%, then you do have to look at, we don't know. He says he's 100%. A lot of us has our suspicions. If he is 100%, then you do have to fire the coach. That's it. I'll leave you guys with that. So lots to think about. Interested to see what some of the quotes are. Some of the guys take accountability. There's no goals tonight. See what Berube says. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Keep you up to date with, yes, the Leafs absolutely have a chance of making the playoffs. In fact, I would expect them to make the playoffs. This team is going to end up in the playoffs. I don't know if it's Berube that's going to be the coach with them, but this team will be in the playoffs. I don't think Keith Pelley is going to let it get to that point. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with more content tomorrow. We'll have some videos the next couple of days. We'll be live next Tuesday, and we might have some content for you in terms of live stream on Sunday as well. Keep you guys posted for that with a community post. So to stay tuned for that, obviously hit the subscribe button. You'll see it in a community post. See you guys tomorrow for another video.
Digest your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold where legends untold. From first pop drop to the season's full. Tune in.